Anybody loves more than agreeing with Tausch?
Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Tuesday edition. The Tausch promised his thoughts on Romeo Doubs. So we'll get those at some point today. Edition. The what are him and Evan going to argue about today? Edition. Evan Cohen scheduled to appear at 9:30. And the did you have ball meetings when you were playing? Ball meetings. Creative title. But they seem to be working. Edition of Wilde and Tausch. By the way, do you know what the word wonky means?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I used that word with LaFleur yesterday, and I got a wonky back. Edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jace Wilde in Green Bay, Jesse Nelson, along with Pablo Iglesias?
Playoff P, they call them.
I don't know that anyone calls him that.
He's ready for the playoffs.
Playoffs?
High school playoffs are coming up, baby. Yeah, one more week.
So
High
they
school
haven't
playoffs,
started
boy.
yet.
Playoff P.
Well, for some teams they have, Jason, because it's a win or go home. You don't make. You know how the Packers had a bunch of playoff games at the end of the season last year?
At the end
That
of the
was-
regular season?
playoff
Yeah,
P.
sure. Okay. And, of course, from his undisclosed location, playoff
Do you
T.
correct Paula as much as you correct me? Like, I feel like you don't.
No, I
Like, if
definitely
Paula
do.
slips up some grammatical errors, do you correct her? Right on the spot?
Yeah, sure. And wait a minute.
I don't know
Before
if
we
I
go
buy
in-
that.
Before
Jesse,
we
do
go,
you buy that?
Before we go any
I don't
further,
buy that.
I think if Paula said the word you said instead of 6 during your prize picks read yesterday, Jason would call it out in front of her. Yeah.
I
No,
definitely
Jason would be like, "What?" Jason would be like, "What's up? What's up?" That's
Who
what Jason-
is that? What I'd be like? What's up? First of all, I was under. If you'd like me to stop that, I will. I was under the impression that that's what we did to everybody on this show. You do it to me.
I have no
every time
problem
I
with it. It
stumble,
just-
you get after me.
It feels as if you've been very adamant about that lately. And maybe I'm just making a lot of mistakes, which is no doubt I do.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, I do.
I'm just saying. All right, playoff T.
How much of the Rodgers Jets did you watch last night?
I watched.
I feel
almost
is
all
it
of it.
crazy for me because last year I was super intrigued, obviously, about the correlation between Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers and draft picks and all the stuff that was. I am not very interested now in what number 8 in the New York Jets do. Like, I thought I'd be much more intrigued. I still want to at least keep track in a kind of in okay, over here type deal. But I'm surprised at how unenthusiastic I am about watching anything with the Jets or it's kind of surprising to me. Even though he threw a Hail Mary and we saw all the clips of it. Am I crazy?
It is incredible to me that I understand this isn't like some sort of brilliant topic to be discussing, but I literally was about to ask you this exact question, and
Well,
you
that's show
offered it
prep.
up yourself.
Jason, that's
It's
show
not,
prep.
though.
That's how this
It's not
works.
like you texted this question to me. It's
No, I
not
did.
like
You didn't look.
I'm sure it was. Yes. I am fascinated by A, your lack of interest, and B, my intensified interest. I've gone the other
Really?
way. And I wanted to ask fans whether or not they watch now, whether it's curiosity, whether it's to some degree, and we don't like this word on this show, but hate watching, like just wanting, it's like not being able to look away from the car crash type deal. If
Sure.
it's cheering for him, wanting him to succeed, like, I don't know what it is, but for me, like, when they're on a national game, I'm not like using my NFL Plus to try and watch them randomly for no reason. But I think they have, in their first 11 games, they have 6 primetime national games. And every time they're on, I have them on. Now, obviously, I have a fair amount of history with the quarterback. But, like, I really wanted to see after they fired your guy, Bob Saleh, and they stripped his guy, Nathaniel Hackett, of the play calling duties. There was no way I wasn't watching Monday Night Football last night. It wasn't even a good game. Your officials took it over again. But I couldn't look away, and I don't understand why.
I think you're obsessed with Aaron.
I don't think that's it.
Well, what else? What other reason? Because
well, I'm more obsessed with the Jets now.
Oh, baby, now this is some breaking news.
okay,
Ian Rappaport.
now I'm more intrigued too.
Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Oh my gosh, what a deal this is. The Raiders are completing a trade of star wide receiver.
You know Joe Douglas, a pick swap guy. Tell me there's a pick swap.
Davante Adams to the Jets. And not only that, tell me, this is a bargain. Per Ian Rappaport, it is a conditional 4th round pick, which can become as much as a 2nd rounder based on performance. Now who's doing some bludgeoning? Joe Douglas just did to the Raiders what the Packers did to Joe Douglas.
Did he?
They had to do this. If you watched the game last night, they had to do this. But does this change your position now on future Jets viewing?
Yeah. No, they're more intriguing now. Obviously, Davante with his history, but the Jets were fading into irrelevance.
Yes, they were.
Even with the most interesting man in sports, or one of them, they're fading into irrelevance. They lost last night. And as I was watching Unsportsmanlike this morning, basically saying they're closer to the Patriots than they are trying to catch the Buffalo Bills, which I don't know if I necessarily. And it was just, you started seeing it go off. Is this going to make them a playoff team? Doubtful. But the fact that the Raiders, I hate to do this again, but give Goody some more love, man. What did Brian Gutekunst get for Davante Adams a couple years ago?
A first and a second.
And what did that turn into?
Yeah, he was a 3-time. He was
Jason.
back to.
Jason. Just asking factual questions. You can give your opinion afterwards. What did that turn into for the Green Bay Packers?
Quay Walker.
Okay.
And then I'll have to double check the 2nd round pick.
I want to say Christian Watson was involved in that. I'm not 100% sure. think Christian Watson was involved in that at some point. The way they moved
Yes,
picks.
because they used that second-round pick to go up to get Watson, and they used another pick to do so as well.
So, Goody.
The Goodenator.
Because we can get in here. I don't want to break down the Jets. Am I more interested now that Davante's back with Rodgers? Yeah. Is this going to be more of a like a share retirement tour? Or is this going to be like a Killers rock band like I Can't Wait Taylor Swift? What are you thinking this is going to be more like? Because the Jets are, 2-4 as we sit here today?
In a not very good division.
Yeah, is Davante going to make that big of a difference? I certainly hope so. He's got a hammy. Don't know if that hammy will get miraculously healed and he'll play next week.
It's like Reggie White's healed by the Lord, yes.
I just wonder if you can go back 2 years. Is it going to be in that case? Is it going to be as good as it was? All I know is I am as a Packer fan today, and with the fact that we all were Panic City when Goody traded Davante. I remember because Kentucky lost to some team, and I had my cover 5, and I got bludgeoned, but we had to do like a hit because I can't believe they got rid of Davante. And I was still surprised. And now when you look at it and what my guy has done, he's done everything right. Everything.
So
when it comes to Davante and Aaron Rodgers.
In fairness for the panic that you felt as well, despite your Goody standum, they had no one at wide receiver after they traded him. And if we're being honest, the 2022 season, in part because I watched an interview last night on, I think it was on YouTube, it was from the NFL Network, that Kyle Brandt did with Rodgers. And within that, they're talking about how well he relates to the young players on the Jets roster. Look, he bears significant responsibility for not finding a way to make it work better with Samori Toure, Romeo Doubs, and Christian Watson during the 2022 season. But when it was a completely lost season, and while two of those guys obviously evolved into improving players in subsequent years, when they traded Davante Adams, they had none of those guys. They had Allen Lazard, and that left them obviously in a position in the 2022 season where no one was saying, hey, boy, what a great move to get rid of him. And Quay Walker wasn't super productive and got kicked out of 2 games that year, if you remember. So it is, I would argue that while you are right about Goody, I would also argue that the development of those players allowed that trade to be as brilliant as we see it now. Because in real time, and they did lose an entire season basically with what they played out there. I mean, they lose the final game. They could have made the playoffs and didn't. But you call it a lost season. It was a lost season. And in the NFL, you only get so many.
Sure. But Goody made the right calls on both.
Yeah.
Made the right calls. He did.
Ultimately, he did.
I think this, and Dalen Reedsburg just texted in or tweeted in, number 8 looks juiceless. To me, he's useless.
That's not the phrase Tausch uses.
This will give him some more juice. And I'll be more intrigued, but I don't think they're going to be that interesting of a story. I think it'll be a fun little get-together in the beginning, but I don't think this is going to put like the Jets over the top and put them as a contender. I think at best this gives them a chance at a 7 seed. That's what at best. I agree with you, they needed to do it because the ship was sinking. How strong is Davante? Is he going to be able to pull that ship back up? I don't know, Jim. I would not bet on it. But Davante is a special talent. Is he going to be able to stay healthy, and is he going to be able to do something big for them? I'm not seeing it. I am glad. I think it's going to make things a lot more interesting, and it flips the storyline that the Jets were donezo to All right, let's see what they got with Davante. And now Packers East is even more East. I thought Davante wanted to go West. Wasn't that the whole thing?
Yeah,
he wanted to go West.
I think eventually you get to the point where you're miserable at work and you're willing to work somewhere else just to enjoy working.
It's almost like it's the people, not the location. Isn't it? Isn't that almost what it's like?
Some might say. Look, if he had it to do over, he never leaves here.
No. And then, but then do we have what we have
No,
now?
then we probably don't have. That maybe they don't have Jaden Reed, whatever it might be. Right. So I guess
would the Packers be in a better spot had they re-signed Davante or where they're at now?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
No, it's an easy answer. It's an
Why?
easy answer.
Why is it easy?
They're better now because they're in a better spot now.
Well, how do you know that?
I don't think it's even close.
He went to the Raiders and was still a first-team All-Pro, so that was 3 years in a row.
Sure.
And then they get rid of David Carr, or Derek Carr. I always get the cars mixed up. And then they have the train wreck of a season with Jimmy G and Jesse's Purdue guy, Aiden O'Connell. Now they got another their quarterback situation sucks. They fire their coach. They've got a coach saying guys are making business decisions. Look, he was wrong. He was wrong about Jordan Love, and Davante will admit that now. And Jordan Love would have been obviously far superior to what he played with. And you don't think that Jordan Love wouldn't love to have him? Like, I understand he loves all of his guys.
I don't know. I don't know if he would.
Would we have the Romeo Doubs situation?
Jason, talk to Brett Favre and ask him if it was it good for him to have Sterling in the beginning? Yes. But ask him when he was better. When did he win MVPs? Was it when he was sprinkling the ball around?
But do you think as he would have grown, he would have become less reliant or less, I don't want to say bullied, but less pressured to get him the ball all the time? Like, again, that was a different offense, right? I mean, they always had a number one guy that had a major share of the targets. It just, the guy wasn't always Sterling, and the numbers weren't quite as high. The year that Robert Brooks replaced him, he had 102 catches. So it's not right. So that was predicated on you had your go-to guy. That was the West Coast system. I don't know what it would have looked like here.
If you would have kept Davante, you probably don't have Watson and you probably don't have Reed. That's probably the trade-off.
They traded back 3 times in the second round and still got Reed.
I know.
That was part of that trade. Well, so maybe Goody would have liked him regardless. It's not like the Packers didn't have other wide receivers like when they had good guys, right? I mean, Ted drafted all kinds of good ones in the second round.
So you're in the club. You think that Davante would have been better for Jordan in the beginning and actually made his life easier, and he'd still be on the same progression?
I think Jordan Love is good enough that he would have been on this trajectory as long as he had good players around him, no matter who they were to throw the football to.
Do you think that COVID game where he almost got Davante killed?
I think that ruined everything.
And you think that soured Davante to the point where he's saying, I'm not playing with this cat now? You think that's what happened?
I don't think it was just that. I think that was the cherry on top. He was at the practices in 2020 and 2021, which I keep trying to tell people, as awesome as Jordan is, he didn't look that way then. And if you're a potential Hall of Fame wide receiver and you are trying to figure out how to continue that when you know Aaron Rodgers is not long for Green Bay. Now, it turned out he ended up being there another year than Davante expected. But if you're trying to improve your chances of being in Canton and you don't think that Jordan Love is going to turn out to be as what Jordan Love has turned out to be, then you're going to get out of Dodge. And you're pissed off because they lowballed you with the $17 million a year offer going into the 21 season. So you put it all together.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate deal. Because I would have loved to have seen that beginning part. of Jordan's career with Davante, but we don't have the same roster and we don't have the same growing up together bit that we have, and it would change the chemistry of the room. It would.
It was pretty ugly at 3-6. It was pretty ugly at 3-6 last year.
Until it wasn't.
Correct. That's why I said at 3-6. Just like your windows are creaky and squeaky and leaky until you call Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And get the look you want for your home. Make sure you're right, though. And you're going to be right when you go to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, because the durability of their materials, it gets tested. They don't just go to one game and say, no, I'm not doing it. No, they are going to open and close the doors. They're going to get reps with their quarterbacks, latches and shades. They're going to do it thousands and thousands of times to ensure that they last for years to come and they don't get traded to the Raiders and then have to get traded to the Jets 3 years later. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass, and right now you get 0 interest for up to 36 months, kind of a conditional interest deal. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends on Halloween. Get started today at PellaWI.com.
I know we have a call with a question about Davante. We'll get to that before we get to Evan Cohen. That's all coming up, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Get more per pour at the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company is a Madison original, brewing award-winning craft beers for 30 years. And now, it's time for their bigger and better happy hour. Every Monday through Thursday from 3 until 6 p.m., enjoy 20-ounce pints of the Great Dane's flagship beers for only $3. From Crop Circle Wheat to the Old Glory APA. Head to one of their 4 locations, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, and East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Gold medalist and ESPN Madison foodie Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Metcalf's Market. As a proud Wisconsinite, you know I support local, and it doesn't get more local than 4th-generation, family-operated Metcalf's Market. Renowned for offering an extensive selection of local and premium quality foods, it's the best place to shop for me and my family. Where family tradition meets commitment to quality, sustainability, and supporting local communities, head to one of their locations today in Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or Wauwatosa. Metcalf's Market. Bring local home.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Mark your calendars. Professional volleyball is coming to Madison with first serve on January 17th. Led by Madison's newest pro team, Love Madison Volleyball. Get ready for non-stop action as some of the world's best players take the court. Featuring silver medalist Lauren Carlini and Annie Drews Schumacher, Love Madison is ready to compete for the season's first championship title. Get your tickets now for this historic first season at lovb.com today. Professional volleyball is coming to Madison this January. Featuring silver medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drews Schumacher, Love Madison Volleyball is Madison's newest pro team. Get ready to watch some of the world's best volleyball players, from silver medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars. The action kicks off on January 17th at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse. Visit lovb.com for more information and tickets today. Volleyball is the next major league.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
All right, let's get to a quick call, and I want to make sure I acknowledge this. This is not a Jets-centric show, but we are talking about two of the greatest players in Packers history.
Lazard and who else?
We're talking about Braylon Allen, one of the greatest Badgers, and Joe Tippmann. We're talking about
Terrible
Adams.
call on Tippmann last night, too.
There's a lot of terrible calls.
I don't think Braylon Allen's one of the greatest Badgers.
No, those refs. What is the NFL better watch themselves, man? I've been saying this for years. Stop throwing flags. Go ahead.
Could you tell Pablo not be so close to the camera?
26 flags last night. Like,
it's a little
what
too
are we,
much,
oh
Pablo.
My God.
Right?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's slow it down there, playoff Pete.
Your pores look great.
Way too many flags. Come on.
So let's take a quick call so we get to Evan. And again, what I wanted to get to today before the breaking news was essentially how interested are you in the Jets, because Tausch is now less interested than he ever was, but now he's going to have to shift his position.
I'm interested again.
It's all changed.
I'm interested.
You had barely gotten that out of your mouth, and then we had breaking news.
I like that.
And I watched it last night because I'm super curious. They fired the coach, but he resents the fact that he had anything to do with it.
You miss your friend. That's what's
I
going
guess
on.
I just miss my friend. Let's talk to Laura in Pewaukee with a Davante Adams question. Laura, thanks for holding on. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm good. First of all, I am interested. And excuse me 1 second. My work phone is ringing.
Nice.
I am interested, and I'm 100% on board with Tausch and the Gutenator. I think Tausch was right again. But the question I have is, do you think, and obviously I'm asking this because this is what I think, but do you think that Davante is crazy for doing this? I mean, what is he going to have? Maybe 1 year more with Rodgers, and then now he's got to make nice with Garrett Wilson. What do you guys think about that?
So, by the way, first of all, thank you for your loyalty to the show. Secondly, I love the fact that you ignored a work call to continue your conversation with us. We appreciate that.
Oh, as long as my manager doesn't find out. But go ahead.
All right,
it's only on broadcast airways everywhere.
So I do find myself wondering that exact thing. Because Davante has plenty of productive years in front of him still.
Yeah, he has no guaranteed money left. So here's how I would answer it. I think this might springboard Rodgers into staying if they win some games. They don't win games, it's going to be a total reload there. Because why is Woody Johnson going to pay $45-50 million a year for a quarterback that has not, by the way, guess how many more points the New York Jets have scored through 6 games than what they did last year with the cataclysm of different quarterbacks they had.
Cataclysm?
Yeah.
I saw the stat on the telecast, too. They've scored the exact same number of points.
The exact same. So why on earth, if you're Woody Johnson, are you saying, I'm going to pay another $55 million to keep old 8 around? I would doubt it. So he's going to have to play better, and maybe Davante will bring that. But Davante will want a new deal. And my guess is he will be traded again if Rodgers decides to retire. This will be a total scrap it down to the studs and reload, and someone else will go. And now Davante has hit the mercenary stage of his career.
I was just going to use
which
that
is
word.
okay. Stop saying that. He's hit that. So whether he ends up going to Washington with Jaden Daniels, because now it isn't, I want to be on the West Coast. Well, that changed. It will now be, I want to finish my career, and he'll be able to say, I want to go with this quarterback.
I want to go win a Super Bowl.
Davante, I think, was so miserable, you could have traded him anywhere outside of the Raiders, and I think you'd have been okay with it. Well, maybe not the Grey Cup. But that's where this is. So everything will get evaluated, and if Rodgers stays and they decide to do it, then Davante will still want a new deal. Because he's not going to want to play. We saw this. He's not going to want to play with no guaranteed money left.
He ain't doing that again.
And by the way,
he shouldn't.
By the way, it was a 3rd-round pick. I want to make sure because accuracy matters. 3rd-round pick, not 4th.
That's not. Has that changed? Has that been corrected?
I'm just reporting the reporting. So
okay. Yeah. Well, initially the report from Ian Rappaport was a 4th-round pick. So thank you for the correction. And
do your own,
Laura,
like you always say about the media, make sure you do your own research. Make sure you find your own.
Oh, who'd you call?
Data
Who'd you call to get that information that you did your own research?
Rappaport tweeted it. I just saw it. It's a 3rd rounder.
I won't get into that.
He corrected it. Yeah. Jerry Rice played 16 seasons with the 49ers. Then he went to Oakland for 4. He finished up in Seattle,
Denver.
This is...
He's a mercenary.
Right? That's exactly what I was about to say, and I know that you love it when that happens. Look, I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm telling you, I was going to watch anyway, and now I'm really going to watch.
If you were a betting man, which I know you're not.
I am not.
Does this end up Disneyland, or what's the opposite of Disneyland?
Graveyard?
The Haunted Mansion?
What is it more likely to end up? Will Davante and Rodgers be happy with this decision that they've done, or is it going to be what the hell did we just do?
Disneyland or DMV?
Look, it can't be.
I don't mind the DMV. That spot over in Middleton,
they
they
love
treat me
you
great.
over there.
I go in there, they talk about the show. They do a great job. I appreciate the Middleton DMV.
The dump?
So don't tell me that's bad. Now, whether or not all DMVs are like that, I don't know.
What places don't you like to go?
Great question. I asked you guys a question. I prefer you answer once in a while than have to constantly be asking me to answer.
So there are no indications that this will end up with being the happiest place on earth like Disneyland. Okay, there are no reason. Can
it get worse?
They fired the coach. They stripped
Can it get
the
worse?
offensive coordinator of his
Can
play
it get
calling
worse?
duties.
Can it get worse?
Sure, they could lose more games. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
After all.
But I don't think it's going to end in them. I'll say this: I don't think the season is going to end with Aaron Rodgers saying, "I'm going to Disneyland" because he just won the Super Bowl.
So what I do hope this does, because I think things were trending, this was going to be it for Rodgers. Things were trending. Maybe Davante will give him some juice. Bring that juice.
Because if you ain't got no juice, then you ain't got no use, or whatever you changed it to.
I ain't got no use. So this might bring enough juice to get Rodgers to recalibrate and do it again and run it back one more time. Whereas if this didn't happen, I got a hunch that this was going to be Deuce is
8. All right, we need to get to Evan Cohen. I would just say this: I've watched. He was on He was on the morning game in London the previous week against the Vikings. I watched that, and then the week before that, they were on Thursday Night Football, if I remember right.
Yeah, got a lot of primetime action.
I've watched their last 3 games almost in their entirety, and he has looked so miserable.
Yeah, it looks tough.
In all 3 of those games.
Yeah, it was rainy. Who likes being out in the rain?
Yep. So this, I would think, if they could just get Cobb out of retirement, then he'd really be happy. You could also be happy.
Does this sprinkle D-Bach into maybe coming back? Get all the old guys back
let's
together.
Be honest. Let's
see
be honest.
if City will come back and play.
If
old City Bach.
If you watched last night's game, among their problems, once again, is they can't block anybody. He got the crap kicked out of him again.
Yeah.
Lazard's not going to be happy with his role now.
All right, we need to get to Evan. As much as I'd love
anybody?
Jeez.
He's not skipping work. I can tell you that. Tausch, I told you I got to see Doug from Kohler Services on
Doug.
Sunday, and things are going great for them, and we are so happy that they are still one of our prominent partners at Kohler Services.
We love them. We love them. And if you need a new bathroom, you better love Kohler Services. If you need that bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services, a family-owned business. 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer, providing care for life. And this month only, 0 interest for 12 months. And my favorite, a free shower door. You get a free shower door with that Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote. With fast professional installation, well, that is always included. Again, KohlerServicesWI.com.
Jesse, why do we have 2 versions of the show live on Twitter?
So I tried to get cute, and I updated the description. I updated the description.
Pablo, get away from the camera. You're driving me crazy.
I updated the description of our Twitter live stream because what we were originally going to start with changed with the Jets news. And apparently that means it republishes it. So who knew?
All right. Well, I need to know that because I need to share it further. All right. We need to get to Evan Cohen. We're going to get to him very late, which means we're going to finish up with him around 10:15. Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike gives us the national perspective on this trade and explains why Tausch didn't meet him for dinner while he was out in the New York, New Jersey greater area.
I just threw him another invite where we keep trying. Now he's got to fly to Chicago, though, to meet us. So
don't confuse effort with results. Yeah. Evan Cohen joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's makes the good stuff for good times. Find recipes, videos, and more at titosvodka.com.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
The kick is up and wide left.
Why don't they customize the goalposts? Make them wider.
Gina Della from Pella, how'd you get into the booth?
And why just yellow? Add some green stripes.
Sure, Gina. Should they also remove the G at midfield and paint a Pella crest?
Okay, Wayne, you can't customize a football game to go the way you want, but Pella can customize your home the way you want.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 10/31/2024.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tausch here for my friends at Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0 interest for 12 months and a free shower door with your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
You're listening to Madison's home of baseball's postseason.
Deep to left again. Home run.
100.5 ESPN. Stream the ESPN radio call of every postseason game free on the ESPN app.
I'm throwing caution. What's it gonna be? Tonight the winds of change are blowing wild and free. If I don't get out of this town, I just might be the one who finally burns.
Before we get to Evan Cohen, Diana Rossini reports that Davante Adams is in the building in Florham Park or wherever the Jets facility is.
Why wouldn't he be?
Well, he flew there last night. Gee, I wonder when they knew they were going to make this trade.
Hey, Jaybird, he probably had an inkling.
Apparently.
Had an inkling.
You would have thought that. Well, never mind. Joining us now. I can't wait to hear what he thinks of this. Yeah, I bet he's disappointed that his show is done for today. That this happened after the show was over. Just like he's disappointed that you didn't get together with him for dinner while you were in New Jersey. From Unsportsmanlike, it is our friend Evan Cohen. Evan, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I am not disappointed it happened after our show. It's perfect to set it up for tomorrow's show. Actually, we had enough for the 4 hours today. This is beautiful for tomorrow. I feel badly for Aaron Rodgers, honestly, because he's lost so much power that they're making these moves behind his back that he didn't know about. I wonder if he's okay with this new receiver, this Adams guy, that, he has no influence over the organization. I actually don't think he got Saleh fired directly. The acquisition of Davante Adams is going to make everyone realize he did get him fired.
I resent that.
I mean, my God.
What do you
my
mean?
God.
That's what Rodgers said. He said he resents the idea that he has something to do with it, which he clearly, I'm sorry, allegedly, some of us think he did.
Evcoat, does this make the Jets a playoff do you think this puts the Jets in the playoffs, this move?
I don't, Tausch. They are currently a 2-4 football team. They have a +5 point differential on the season. The exact same number, ironically enough, is the Cincinnati Bengals, 2-4, +5 point differential. If you look around that conference, there are other teams hovering right in the same area. I would argue that the Miami Dolphins, if they get Tua back, not this week but next week, there's an argument the Dolphins have a better chance than the Jets do based on the upcoming schedule. And so much was made about last night, one game away from first place. Well, now they're one game away from the Pats. They're closer in the division in New England than they are to Buffalo.
That was a really good point by you this morning on Unsportsmanlike. Really good point.
And Tausch used it before you came on.
But, Evan, I did. I also cited you. I cited you.
Okay.
You
all
did.
Right, that's
so,
okay then.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, that's all part of the deal. What do you make the fact that this offense with Aaron Rodgers has the exact same amount of points as they had last year through 6 weeks with Lord knows who they had quarterbacking?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that surprising considering we're talking about a guy that, and I don't really care about yardage for quarterbacks, but Aaron Rodgers has gone 28 straight games without a 300-yard passing game, which is the longest current streak in the NFL. When you're a big play quarterback like he is, to not have as many big plays is interesting. And then when you're not going to have the big plays, you need to figure out ways of not giving the ball to the other team, which it seems like he's doing more of now than he did in Green Bay. So I'm not exactly sure what he is anymore. And I think if you look at it with or without Davante, best case scenario, he's the 6th best quarterback in his own conference. Best case scenario. You cannot currently make the argument that he's better than Mahomes, Allen, Jackson,
names.
Stroud. I'm currently doing that, and then you interrupted me before I got to 4 and 5.
Okay, we'll keep
so
going.
I'll start again.
Welcome to my world.
Mahomes, Allen, Jackson,
Yes.
Stroud,
Yes.
and Burrow
Yes.
are all probably better quarterbacks right now than Rodgers. So the Jets have gone all in. The Jets have gone all in. Best case scenario on the 6th best quarterback in the AFC. Interesting strategy.
But things can change, right? I understand he's going to be 41, but no one was saying that Jordan Love was the best quarterback in the NFC after 9 games last year. And by the end of the year, no one was playing the position better. Maybe Davante Adams and all the changes, and they settle in and they play some less challenging matchups or whatever it might be. Maybe this changes the whole narrative. My question for you, having...
Wait, Jason. I'm sorry to interrupt on that, but you and I will talk later on the phone like we did last week. No big deal, Tausch, you're left out. Jason and I are phone friends. Anyway, I want to just point something out on that.
Let me tell you something. You think have any FOMO about you two having a phone conversation? You don't know what's going on.
We had a good one.
We're going to tornado.
That's great. That's great. I don't care. Continue.
Wow. That sounds like you do care. To be honest with you.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, jealousy.
Okay.
All right, now, here's the thing.
Hey, jealousy.
You set
Am I right?
You set that up, Jason, about, hey, nobody expected Love to be the best quarterback in the conference. By the end of the year, he was. You're right about that. Here's the difference. Jordan Love didn't demand unqualified coaches to be coaches and unqualified players at the time of the demands to be with the team.
Mm-hmm.
He also did not, after a game, blame a wide receiver and a kicker. And I think, while Rodgers may be right, it finally hit me today, something I've never actually been able to put into words until today about Rodgers. He's honest at the wrong times. And I understand that somebody could say, well, there's no wrong time to be honest. There is a wrong time to be honest if it's going to hurt the people around you publicly. In other words, Aaron Rodgers, with the whole immunization, all of the different stuff about the power with Salah, he's like 85% of the way honest, but not 100% of the way honest. Whereas I think those are the times he should be 100% of the way honest. And last night after that game is when he should be 85% of the way honest and say, hey, listen, 3rd and 16, I throw an interception. I'm going to watch the tape. I'm probably going to see other guys open. That's on me. All right, we missed 2 kicks, but guys, I'm the quarterback. I put us in bad positions where we had to be forced into field goals. It's my job to get us 6 every time. Those are the right answers without throwing guys under the bus.
Yeah.
He's just throwing people under the bus right now. And I expect, with no level of reporting or insight, but I expect Mike Williams to either be cut or traded in the next 24 to 48 hours. Don't you guys? Based on what we saw last night and the addition of another receiver?
Yeah, I think, first of all, the way you put that was really, really good, because the bottom line is he does that all the time. Like, it is a recurring theme with him. He doesn't flat out, like, he has plausible deniability. Well, I didn't say Mike Williams ran the wrong route.
Right.
No, you just basically said it, and the idea that you didn't really say it, anybody who's listening knows what you said. And good, bad, or indifferent, Jordan Love is much more, and this has always been one of my, some might say few, criticisms of Rodgers. He doesn't take enough blame publicly. I'm not saying he has to take blame for things he doesn't do wrong, but there is a way, like Evan just said, to take the heat, and he has taken the heat off guys previously, but he sure as heck didn't do it last night. I watched his postgame, and he might as well have said, that's not an interception if Mike Williams does what he's supposed to damn do. And if we kick 2 field goals.
He stood up for Bills defenders more than he stood up for his own team last night.
Yeah.
Because he actually said that it wasn't a roughing the passer on the Bills, on him, which he's right, by the way. But, like, I don't want to call him dishonest or that he lies. I just think he's actually honest at the wrong times.
Yeah, it's a really good line. So what do you expect now from the New York Jets? Because it's hard for me to look at this, given all the issues and drama and the coach getting fired and the coordinator getting the play calling duties taken away. It's hard for me to envision this suddenly turning everything around for them. And again, this is not a Jets show, but when you have Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams in New York, even if you want to say you don't care, there's a tiny little piece of you as a Packers fan that has to have curiosity. I just find it hard to believe.
I mean, come on. Any Packer fan that's going to sit there and say, enough about the Jets, I don't care, give me a break. You know, you have arguably, along with 2 others, but the best quarterback in franchise history. You have one of the best wide receivers in franchise history on the team. You have Lazard on the team. You have Hackett's situation. What a disaster that is. Ugh. I mean, come on. They are Green Bay Northeast. That's what they are right now. I mean, it's such an interesting thing, like what is happening there. What do I expect them to be? It's not much. What do you guys expect them to be? Like, what are you expecting them to do?
Well, I was thinking they wouldn't make the playoffs, and then I looked at the Jets' schedule, which I don't know why I did that, but I did. Their schedule's gettable. The AFC stinks. They don't have any games. Like, they don't have the Ravens. They don't have a lot of juggernauts left on their schedule. So they can get to 9 wins. They probably get in. Whether or not they can do that, I just don't. What I don't understand from Rodgers' standpoint is, and I didn't understand this from the get-go, you basically have the receiving core of the team that was not very good, right? Wasn't that the 2022 squad? 2021?
We got Garrett Wilson in addition to those other guys.
That's a good ad. But
Hold on. No, this is important. This is important. It's actually going to back up your point, Tausch, in a way that you didn't think about.
I like that then. All right, continue.
Yeah. Jason said they got Garrett Wilson. Well, isn't that the whole point of what Watson and Doubs, et cetera, were supposed to become if Rodgers stayed with them?
Oh, yeah, but he's different now, Evan. I watched an interview with Kyle Brandt. He cares deeply about the young guys, and he really connects with them in New York.
Right, but that's what Tausch is saying. He's reliving the same team because Wilson would have been the equivalent of the young guys if he actually cared about them with guys. And by the way, I guess Adams' hamstring all of a sudden is okay, on a side note. I mean, I guess that's all right now. The hamstring for Davante. I mean, my God.
It's a Yom Kippur miracle.
Yeah, sure. Well, I don't know that you used that correctly, but nonetheless.
I know.
But, Tausch, so you have them winning 9 games. So the big
No,
Davante
I'm saying
Adams
that's what it'll
acquisition.
take to get there. I don't think they're going to get to
Think
9.
about the math on that. Think about the math.
Okay.
So that means that they win 9 games. The big Davante Adams acquisition for the final 11 games of the season has them going 7-4. Congratulations.
That's pretty
good. Like, okay. whatever.
If they go 7-4 with this group, I think they'd be clamoring from the rooftops. Greeny will be going nuts if they go 7-4 and get to 9, whatever. Now, if they make the playoffs, this was a good trade. If they don't, it's just chasing again after. So, Evan, Jason and I were talking. Do you think that Jordan Love's development would have been better had Davante and the Packers been able to work out a deal for him to stay? Or do you think he is in a better spot with going and struggling a little bit with the young players but growing with them? Which way do you think would have been a better route for Jordan Love?
Way in which they have done it currently. And for a myriad of reasons. One, obviously Adams would have counted an enormous amount against the cap, so you then have to play out what they wouldn't have been able to do as a result, which obviously we would never know specifics on that. Two, we had Larry Fitzgerald on our show last week, and he made a big point about quarterbacks and receivers kind of growing and developing at the same time together, right? There's a reason that Rodgers was really good with Davante, because they were kind of, not exactly, but not that far apart in terms of their development, or maybe a better example would be Jordy with Rodgers. I think Love kind of growing up with all these guys ultimately helps you. And I think because there's so many of them, there's no clear-cut number one, which allows you to keep the salaries down and have more players at more positions as a result. I think the way they have done it is... Yeah, well, exactly. That's a great one, Tausch, right? Like, do they have him if Davante's on the team?
No, probably not.
Right? I mean, maybe they work out a deal with Aaron Jones earlier to have him at a lower cost so they don't have Josh Jacobs. Not that Aaron Jones is bad, obviously. But I just think the entirety of their roster looks different. The way they have done it, I think, is better. But remember, I'm very much anti-number one receiver and focusing all that on one person. Like, everybody's saying Buffalo needs a number one, right? I mean, sure, but can I make an argument that because they don't have a number one, Josh Allen has no picks and thus is not forcing the ball to anybody because of who the number one is?
Yes, that'd be a great argument.
You know, do I know that Jordan Love would be as good if he felt like, oh, God, I got 17 the ball? Because my guesstimation is, now maybe last week he wanted to get Romeo Doubs the ball just to kind of get him back in the mix, but normally my guesstimation, you guys would know better than I would, is he throws to whoever's open, not whoever's the number one receiver.
Yeah, and Davante Adams gets open a lot.
Okay, well, that helps. You think Garrett Wilson's going to be as happy and Lazard's going to be as happy with Rodgers after Adams gets there, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I'm sure he will. They're all, because it's a happy team and they're
together.
just working together to accomplish a goal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's Rodgers.
Evan, before we let you go.
Yeah, Evan, can you join my club that Goody absolutely crushed again with trading Davante, getting what he got, and Aaron Rodgers, and now Davante's going back for a conditional third-round pick. That's where we're at.
That is a great call that I did not think about, and you know that I'm very much Team Goody. I think he's the best GM in the league. You know, and by the way in which the Raiders handled Davante is actually a perfect example of why Goody is good. I'm going to use this terminology. I understand, obviously, there's parts of the country that are in terrible shape right now because of this, but it's what Belichick used. Belichick specifically said on his coach podcast with Mike Lombardi and Matt Patricia last week, when you see a storm coming, you have to get out in front of it. You don't want to get out after it. The Raiders should have seen the Davante storm coming when we all knew, and they didn't get out in front of it. The Packers, conversely, saw the storm with Davante. They were probably feeling raindrops a little bit with Rodgers, but it wasn't full-fledged storm as it could have been if they held on to him one more year. Maybe they should have gotten rid of him 1 year earlier. But the Packers, every time they see a storm coming, they get out of the rain. And that is the credit that Brian Gutekunst
Really
gets.
profound. That's profound. Well, how do you know when you should when you should get out and when you should batten down the hatches? Because sometimes you got to batten down the hatches.
Are you saying on the literal of a storm or with a player here, Tosh?
No, I'm talking about the football storm, because if this was Davante when he was 25 and he wanted to get out, you could batten down the hatches and say, no, we're not doing that because I want – but when you get into that third contract, it's a lot easier to get out and go. Sometimes you got to batten down those hatches, don't you?
All right. So let's play this out. Give me a team non-Chiefs, and I'll give you the example of how this works in my mind.
All right, the Bengals.
The Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So they should have probably traded T. Higgins a year ago, and there's an argument that after this season they should trade Jamar Chase, and they should have drafted wide receivers high-ish, not first, the last 2 years. Like the Niners did exactly that. Now, they may have kept the storm a little bit, but what they have done, if you look at it, the Niners have a guy by the name of Jawan Johnson, who's their third receiver. No, wait, is that his name? I think
Jennings.
that's his name, right?
It's Jennings. It's Jennings.
Jennings, sorry. Johnson is the tight end
You're
for
welcome.
the Saints, I think. Right. So that guy is really good.
What is it for you?
That guy's really good. They signed him to a contract extension before everything started happening with Ayuk. They drafted Rick Pearsall, who unfortunately got shot, but he's back now, in the first round this year, knowing that Debo's probably done after next year or this year, right? That's getting out in front of the storm. That's what the Packers have done. There is an argument to be made. If any of their wide receivers really pop, they may trade them a year early.
I'll say this. If it's Jaden Reed, batten down them hatches. That's all I'm going to say. And then otherwise, okay, you want to get out in front of the storm? Okay, great. But at some point, you do have to batten down them hatches. That's all my point is.
Evan, before you go, Jesse is obsessed with the idea that every team that beats the Brewers in the postseason goes to the World Series. How are you feeling about your Mets?
There was something that happened yesterday that I absolutely loved. So obviously, Lindor hits a leadoff homer. Grand slam by Mark Vientos. Those are awesome. But late in the game, up 6-3, Marte has a single, and the polar bear, Pete Alonso, is running from second to home in a way that you would have thought Tausch and I were running towards Tornado for a free meal. I've never seen a guy run that hard. And to me, there's those little things that you see that are just remarkable with a team like that. I love it.
All right, well, we'll see what they do. That series is even at 1, and we look forward to your I'm guessing this will make the show tomorrow, the Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams story. Be sure to tune in to Unsportsmanlike across ESPN Wisconsin tomorrow morning to see what Evan and Canty and Mishmel Schmalman talk about as it relates to that. Thanks, Evan.
Thanks, guys.
It's a lot of Jets talk.
Do you think that Aaron Rodgers picks the wrong times, to be honest, like Evan just said?
I thought that was a really, really good point.
I know
because
you did.
everything,
I saw your face perk up.
Yeah, what he said last night about the interception and how it was supposed to be a go route along the red line, and that he changed the way he was throwing the ball because he saw that Mike Williams didn't do that, and the fact that he threw their kicker under the bus for missing 2 field goals. Nothing he said was false. But I wouldn't have said that if I was their quarterback. Again, I have said this to him. Sometimes it's better, even if you shouldn't, to take the blame on you. He's been great at taking the focus off of his teammates, and putting it on him with relax and run the table. And then he chose not to do that in 2022, which was notable, as we discussed back then. But I'm not sure what good comes from basically saying Mike Williams screwed up the route, and that's why we threw the interception. We would have won if he wouldn't have done that.
They're holding people accountable. Outside
would you
yourself.
rather be held?
That's what you're doing.
Do you hold them accountable publicly or privately?
I don't like it. I'm with you. I don't like it. I'm just telling you how you could spin it if you were him.
All right. I want to get ready to shift gears.
That's enough Jets talk.
Indeed. We still have one last segment of the 9 o'clock hour, and we'll get to it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Coaching legend Bo Ryan joining basketball's all-time greats over the weekend. A laundry list of thank yous from the 4-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, capped off with a special one for his players. Audio courtesy NBA TV.
For every rebound you grabbed, for every free throw you practiced, for every charge you took, for every time you went to the floor for a loose ball, I thank each and every one of you. It was my supreme honor to coach you. I will cherish the memories we share for the rest of my life.
Pella's windows and doors feature durable materials, custom colors, and innovative features like shades between the glass. Get 0% interest for up to 36 months at PellaWI.com.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by Basketball Hall of Famer and exec Joe Dumars. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Looking to get away this winter? Well, now's your chance. Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. Our friends at Coors Light are giving away a Florida experience this December, and you could win. This trip for two includes a travel and hotel voucher, club-level tickets to the Boca Bowl on Wednesday, December 18th, and exclusive access to events surrounding the Boca Bowl. All you have to do is order an ice-cold Coors Light and scan the QR code at any of the following locations: Scotty Bar, Red Zone, Echo Tap, and Wando's. Coors Light. Enjoy responsibly.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Are you in the mood for more breaking news from the National Football League involving a former Packer?
Oh, yeah.
Now this is some breaking news.
Tom Silverstein, one of your favorite beat writers.
Good baseball coach, too. Very good baseball coach.
Have you coached against him?
No, but I've heard a lot of good things from parents down in that area.
Yeah.
The Spoon is pretty good.
Yeah, he is a good man and very good and experienced reporter. And he has some breaking news for you regarding another former Packer not going to the Jets.
Okay.
Kicker Anders Carlson signing with the San Francisco 49ers practice squad. Insurance for Matthew Wright, who injured his shoulder last week. And their kicker, the Michigan guy, Moody, he's out too, right? That's why they signed Matthew Wright.
That's
right?
correct, yeah.
Okay.
So
that is
I have been yes, indeed. I have been making multiple references, and I think Bill Huber was the first to do it, that potentially your best alternative to Braden Narveson on the free agent market is Anders Carlson. Well, now he's not available either. Now, Greg Joseph may be, after the way things went on Sunday Night Football.
You can go sign him from the practice squad. Why, you could.
You could, but I don't. I'll be honest. I don't think Anders is interested. That's just my gut
I don't
feeling.
blame him. Yeah, I don't blame him.
Because if I'm him, I'm looking at Braden Narveson saying, you think this guy's better than me? Why aren't you holding him to the same standard he held me to?
Well, they gave Anders Carlson a full year. What the hell's Anders talking about if that's what he said?
No, he didn't
now,
say that.
Has Anders been better? Has Anders been better than what Narvi's been? Absolutely. Did the Packers kind of make a decision to say we just don't want either of these two? We need something different? And different's not always better? That's how I would describe the scenario of where we're at. And if Anders doesn't miss a preseason field goal, was he going to be the kicker for this team? The answer is yes. But he missed it. And then that was I told you. And by the way, Anders, if that's how you feel.
That was me.
Again,
that wasn't him.
I understand, but you were speaking for Anders.
I was speaking as Anders.
If the Packers offered Anders a full-time kicking job in this league, he would take it tomorrow. Because it's much
better.
They
guaranteed him the job,
to be playing than to not be playing.
All right,
regardless of your feelings.
We've spent a lot of time on guys who do not play for the Packers now. I
think Anders should be playing for the Packers, though. Maybe the Raiders are going to say, you know what, I'm going to trade Crosby, and let's go get Daniel Carlson.
Maybe we get Max Crosby too.
No, that's crazy talk. But Daniel Carlson for a conditional fifth. Why the Raiders would ever do that, I don't know. They shouldn't. But the Raiders do a lot of stuff that doesn't make a ton of sense.
You are stealing the take that I shared 2 weeks ago, and you laughed at me. I just want to clarify that this is plagiarism or whatever.
Okay, first off,
I want credit for this idea.
What, you want credit for Daniel Carlson?
Yes!
You haven't even been on the show for 2 weeks. Get the hell out of here with that foolish talk.
Jesse, when it comes to plagiarism, says, pour me in, coach. I'd like to accuse Tausch, too.
Yeah, I love the fact you guys – I love how Twitter thinks you own these takes. Like, nobody else can have the same – like, come on. Irritating. Pour me in, coach, for a Tito's handmade vodka on game day. From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. Stack a spicy Bloody Mary. Salt the rim of a Tito Rita, or take home the win with Tito's, and whatever your heart desires. You're calling the game. You change up your roster or wash that lucky jersey. As long as you make Tito's your first-round bottle pick. Whose house? Tito's house. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com, crafted to be savored responsibly.
We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour because it feels like the 11 o'clock hour because it's only the 10 o'clock hour. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Breaking news brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison on ESPN Madison. Former Packers All-Pro wide receiver Davante Adams has been traded by the Las Vegas Raiders to the New York Jets, where he will rejoin former teammate Aaron Rodgers and Alan Lazard and the other Packers who play for the Jets on the New York Jets team, who is 2-4 following a loss last night on ESPN's Monday Night Football. Plenty of reactions during the 9 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch, including an appearance from Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. If you missed any of it, you can find the full podcast available in a little while on Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Meanwhile, the actual Green Bay Packers turning their attention to getting set to host the Houston Texans Sunday at Lambeau Field. Texans are 5-1 on the season. Going to be a tough contest for the Packers, who have opened as 3-point favorites at home, according to ESPN Bet. Check out where the Packers, the Texans, the Jets, and anybody else you're interested in land in this week's ESPN NFL Power Rankings at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or MetroKiaofMadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Jesse, can we talk about something else?
Why?
Well, you've been monitoring here's why I ask. Because I can't figure out what people are saying versus their behavior. Like, I got a bunch of tweets saying, asking if you were interested in the Jets and if you're going to watch now or if you were. And it's all no. But I'm looking at our YouTube numbers and our Twitter numbers, and there's a lot of people watching. I hope people are listening over terrestrial radio and audio streaming as well. I don't want to talk about the Jets. I want to talk about the Packers. But when news like this breaks, it's worth talking about. Now,
there's a line in the show SpongeBob SquarePants where there's one episode where they come up with the idea, let's pick Bikini Bottom is the name of the city where they live. I don't know how familiar you are with the SpongeBob
I've been there, yeah.
universe.
It's a lovely place, yeah.
Let's pick up Bikini Bottom and move it somewhere else. That's what Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams and the Jets and the Packers have done. They've picked up the 2022 Green Bay Packers and put them somewhere else. They're now in New York with a 2-4 team in the AFC East trying to get a run at winning a chip. And it's like this parallel universe where the almost many of the key components of the exact same team that were here in Green Bay 2, 3, 4 years ago are trying to run the same thing in a different place. It's fascinating.
So here's the thing. I'm looking at the YouTube comments, and everybody wants to talk about the kicking situation. So that is the hot button issue for people that want to talk about the actual Packers. And Tausch, my problem with this scenario is that when you keep a guy because the alternatives that are available aren't any better, that's not a great reason to keep keeping a guy. That's my issue about where they stand.
Keep on keeping on.
Well, look, Rob Domofsky, I thought, did a fantastic job yesterday. and I know he's one of your favorite beat writers.
Yeah, he's good. He does a good job.
He asked if Alex Hale, their international pathway player, is someone who could be ready if they decided to go that direction. Okay. Here is how that whole exchange about the kicking situation went. I would like you to interpret.
Now, would Alex Hale be ready if you guys were to want to go that route, or is he not ready yet?
Potentially.
Considering a move this week at kicker?
I wouldn't say that right now, no.
I wouldn't say that right now, no. Translation? I could be saying that on Wednesday?
No.
Okay.
He's getting another week.
I feel like we say that every week.
Yeah, it is. Loyalty is a fun deal when it's actually working. They have been incredibly loyal to Narvi. And I do wonder how much, I don't fully understand why, because he's not been here.
Yeah.
Like with Mason Crosby's struggles in 2012, Ted Thompson's loyalty was completely understandable because Mason had, kicked in a Super Bowl and he's been, really good for a long time. And I understood it, even though he probably shouldn't have. That season, he really struggled. Now, to Mason's credit, he battled back and he won the job the next year, and he ended up, being the all-time leading scorer in the history of the G&G. Narvi hasn't, and I wonder how much. I always love when Goody talks because Goody will tell you things. You just got to listen.
Good line.
He went and said it's a lesson that he learned from Ted. That sometimes at that position you just do, and he didn't do it with Anders. I think he tried, and I think he wanted to, but then he didn't. And now I think he would love to just settle in and have somebody and not worry about it, because this is his big hole in his roster.
Do you think he
regrets? I can't think of another spot.
Do you think he regrets not being more patient with Anders or no?
I do.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can't let – if you're not going to let a preseason game dictate a lot of your roster moves, which they don't, practice squad, et cetera, they do, you let it get to you with that. And I didn't mind it because I felt like they thought they had something in Narv Dog. What they have is a kicker that's worse than Anders, percentage-wise. All metrics – tell you he's not better than Anders Carlson was last year. Anders, I think the pressure of playoff football, there was a lot of things, and you have to work through that, just like Jordan Love has to work through not throwing across your body in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's different again because of the zero-sumness of kicking. But that is your process that you went through, and I think Anders Carlson's going to end up being a good kicker in this league. And I think it's going to be for another team.
Yep.
And I think you're going to sit here and continue to jostle because what? You're going to go pick up Greg Joseph? Everybody say, oh, Greg Joseph. How'd that work out? Not good.
Yeah, to me,
Yank City, USA.
To me, the conversation will wind up being exactly what you said, that we should have been more patient with him. I still believe that if he doesn't miss the 32-yarder in garbage time of a preseason finale, that he does end up being the kicker, and they are patient. And then Goody comes out and flat out admits that he's not patient enough. And now it's almost as if he's being too patient with a guy that he should have no loyalty to. So, again, I know people are also exhausted by this conversation. But and I understand Daniel Carlson was given up on in Minnesota. The argument that I got from Rich Bisaccia when I flat out asked him, are you doing with Anders what the Vikings did with Daniel, and you benefited from that as the Raiders coach? And he said, well, we gave Anders a full year. And that's fair. But it takes longer than a year for some kickers. And maybe Anders never gets it together. I'm not saying you should cry a river for Anders Carlson.
You gave Jordan Love 3 years.
Indeed. What you can't
Growth isn't linear. Somebody
I've heard
once said
that.
growth isn't linear.
A great American once said that. You know what I've also heard? What I've also heard is you shouldn't wait to set up your appointment with Johnson & Sons Paving until it's too late, because you may have a job that you can get done now. You may have to have it done in spring, but don't be sitting around waiting for them. Talk to them now.
Move. Get moving. Get ready for spring and do it now. Call Johnson & Sons Paving to make sure no pavement hazards get worse over the long winter that's coming. Potholes and cracked curbs and drainage issues. Things are bad now. Call Johnson & Sons Paving to get it fixed today. Schedule a free, no-obligation quote and a walkthrough of your pavement. They'll be able to see signs of asphalt pavement work that needs to be done by spotting that fatigue cracking, the standing water, the warping, the buckling, the sinking pavement, and much, much more. Don't scare away customers or tenants with bad curb appeal. Book now. Save money later. JohnsonSonsPaving.com.
Are you going to, since we're covering all the ground that maybe people are tired of, you want to put a bow on our Romeo Doubs conversation next? Because you had teased that you would give your opinion today, and then we could just clear the decks. We could talk about whatever people want, because we'll have covered the Jets, the kicking situation, and Romeo, and gotten them all out of the way by 10:30.
Certainly. Shortly.
All right. I can't wait to hear, because very rarely does Tausch save anything. He doesn't save things for 8 seconds. They enter his brain, and they come out. But in this instance, he chose to save it for today.
I'm a sock guy. Hey, I'm a sock guy. I get you're right.
I don't understand.
Stream of consciousness. Stream of consciousness.
Oh, sure. I got it now. I was just being a palm there. Why did Tausch save this? Why did he wait till today? We'll find out next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
The kick is up and wide left.
Why don't they customize the goalposts? Make them wider.
Gina Della from Pella? How'd you get into the booth?
And why just yellow? Add some green stripes.
Sure, Gina. Should they also remove the G at midfield and paint a Pella crest?
Okay, Wayne, you can't customize a football game to go the way you want, but Pella can customize your home the way you want.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 10/31/2024.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You never know what's hiding behind the creepy cash door, but if you're not too scared to find out, it can be very rewarding. Every Saturday in October, Ho Chunk Gaming Madison will have 12 winners open a creepy cash door to reveal a cash prize of up to $2,500. Plus, one weekly grand prize winner will take home up to $10,000. That's $160,000 in possible cash prizes Saturdays in October. Nothing scary about that. Get your share of fun, frights, and prizes every Saturday at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
All right, Tauschi. Is that what KBN calls you, Tauschi?
I don't know. I don't know what those guys do. I'm along for the ride.
All right,
so, Jason, how do you feel like our show handled the Romeo Doubs scenario? Because I go on Twitter. I'm not a YouTube. I don't go on YouTube, so I'll let you handle that. Mm-hmm. I felt like after the press conference not the press conference, but his press availability on Friday, there were a lot of people saying, I hope you all apologize to Romeo Doubs. And I just was curious where your head was at before I kind of tell you where my head was at.
Yeah, look, I didn't really appreciate the handful of – it was a small group. But I thought we were as respectful as we could have been and acknowledging – of the possibility of there being some mental health related, I don't want to go so far as to say crisis, but again, before you start, I do want to say this, and I don't believe in using anonymous sources extensively. I do think that conversations held in the locker room, for example, if there is a mistake in a blocking assignment that leads to a sack when you're playing, okay, I would have never said Mark Tauscher said that Marco Rivera blew his assignment. But I would talk to guys so I could accurately portray what happened. And I don't need to quote you on it. I could say it because I know the person I'm talking to knows what the hell they're talking about. And I can guarantee those of you that were critical of us, that the conversations I had in the locker room shaped the way we discussed it. Mm-hmm. And I thought we did look, this is not, hey, we did a great job time, but we didn't call him a coward. We didn't call him names. I do think he was selfish. I do think he was inconsiderate of his teammates. And I don't believe that his role had nothing at all to do with him not coming to work. And I don't think Romeo did a particularly good job of dispelling the idea that that was at least a factor in him not coming to work. Now,
okay, so
does that help?
Yeah, so here's the deal. I was very critical of how Romeo handled the situation. And I said from the jump, if this was some big issues, and obviously there are, because you don't skip practice. Again, it never happened. It never happened while I played 11 years. It has not happened, as far as you know, in the 28 or 29 years you've covered it. So I think we were very fair to miss a game and be suspended. The fact that there are any people that thought that this was all about, he's going through a ton. Listen, every NFL player has got a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Mm-hmm. And with the added scrutiny, again, I told you last week while we were discussing this, the added scrutiny makes it really difficult. And I can only imagine the extra stress level it gives on a player. It's much worse than when I played. Much worse.
You got Will Levis's phone number being put out there. I get it, too.
There's just a lot of stuff. So I am very sensitive to the mental health part of this. I am. But when the Packers suspend you, I never mentioned a word about this until the Packers suspended him. Mm-hmm. I think Bill's report was on a Friday night, so we didn't have a show anyways.
Correct.
But the reason that I thought it was a monster story is because your team is not going to suspend you for having mental health issues. If you come to them and say, I'm really struggling, I need a break, it would be received well by the front office because they need to receive it well. This isn't the 1980s and 90s where it's get out there and go do it. That's not where this is. So that whole storyline and motive and all this other stuff was just bunk for me. And the fact that you didn't address and finish it when you could have, I believe on Friday it was mandated that something had to be said or done for him to play. That's what I believe happened. And I feel pretty good about that. And whether or not Romeo, just listen to the audio. And I know we don't have it, but the audio where he said,
can't hear it.
I don't have. Somebody asked, and Jason, you were in the locker room. Somebody asked if he had a problem with his role, or if that was a part of it.
Yeah. So here's how this. Let me just read this to you. So this was, and I want to be clear. He is a soft-spoken guy. Some might say even cute, generally speaking, but he has never been inaudible. I watched the local news and how they handled it because I was curious. So I watched all the different channels. They used subtitles while running the clips. Okay? So that's like Domofsky and Huber and I walked away, and Huber had a great line. I can't wait to get upstairs and listen to this so I can figure out what he said. That's how reluctant he was to speak and how difficult he was to hear. Okay? So I have before me the transcript. I will not read it in an overly dramatic fashion. I will just give you the question and the answer.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on your role? No comment, man. It's a great offense here. Got some ball players in our room. It's much bigger than just obviously me individually finding my role. In this league, it's just winning football games. Quick aside, finding my role. He's in year 3, and he's saying he's finding his role. Okay? So, did you want a bigger role, and did wanting a bigger role have anything to do with you not coming? No, it wasn't. How's your mental health? Are you good? Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. So, was it about getting more opportunities in the offense? My apologies, but I don't feel comfortable answering that. Next question. Is that a refutation of I'm unhappy with my role? It sure as hell isn't convincing to me.
So I think we all have to be mindful on the mental welfare and everything else. And that's why we were, I thought, very cautious, like very cautious of it. But you also have to look at it and say, well, what is the root? He just said that that's not the case. And I'm not interested in relitigating the past. I'm not interested in that. Like, what happened, happened. And what I saw on Sunday was great from the team standpoint.
Yeah.
What I saw from Christian Watson, man, I could not be, I'm with you on that. I'm going to plagiarize your feelings on Christian Watson. It was awesome. He's showing his leadership. I love what I saw from number 9. But I'm still very, very concerned about where we're at with 87. Like, if you think all that just goes away and everything is now hunky-dory, no. Listen to those quotes and understand how that all plays. I'm still very, very concerned about moving forward where we're at. And that was so when everybody was celebrating and everything else on Sunday, oh, that was such a great, it was great. Does that solve the root of what this issue is? I don't even necessarily, we can't even get an answer to what the root is.
Yeah,
So I think we all want as Packer fans just to say, oh, baby, it's awesome. We got all our guys. I'm not there. I'm not.
I want to
it doesn't
do that
matter.
too.
I don't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
You think the guys in the locker room are?
No,
Maybe.
I don't.
I know there's a lot of applause and everybody's excited, and God bless it, that's awesome. Because that's being a great teammate. But is it all just one big happy operation? I'm going to be watching this very closely. I know you will be. Because this is still a total Natasha Bedingfield to me. Mm-hmm. This story is not anywhere near being over. And you can avoid it and not look at it and say, oh, Tausch, you're crazy. What are you doing? I just think there's a lot there that we're just going to, maybe that'll be the case. But all of the stuff that happened was, as he put it, he's made some mistakes and he regretted how he handled it. That's a great step. That's the only thing out of that whole deal that I heard that I felt good about. Everything else, no comment, all the other stuff. If you don't think there's still something there, I don't think you're paying attention.
I think we can all agree with the first part that you said there of everyone wants it to be over. You as a fan wants it to be over. The head coach wants it to be over. His teammates want it to be over. The beat writers do. Look, I'm glad I got that Tucker Kraft story written because it was a really good story, and I was worried that there was going to be more drama, and I had to cover that.
Everybody's uncomfortable talking about it, right? Everybody's uncomfortable dealing with it. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, and look, he can have something that he's struggling with in just how he manages stress or anxiety or whatever you want to say, but that doesn't excuse not coming to work and not calling in. And I think the folks that, there's another person in the YouTube comments saying I'm tired of the speculation. Well, first of all, the speculation could be ended with a little more honesty, right? Secondly, there is no one in his orbit that has refuted what Bill Huber reported about his unhappiness with his role. You had an agent. One of agents' jobs is to do damage control. There was none of that at all. Yes, it was a great day on Sunday, but it's not a raging inferno that is, how's this for an analogy? It is not an inferno that is engulfing the building. But if you think that the little fire is completely out and there's no embers that are simmering, I think you're being naive. And I do think that the players who did everything they could to make things better still have some, I'm not going to say resentment, but some sort of concern or curiosity. The guy who was
reservations. I think there's
right,
reservations.
Great word. Because the guy who was the most outspoken supporter of him literally said it's going to be weird for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from Christian Watson.
What I love about this scenario is the way that the team handled it and has handled it. But it's not, I just don't think this is, it's just not. And I am still very concerned as a fan about where this is going. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe it'll all just fall on deaf ears and it's no big deal and everything is going to just move along. I've been in locker rooms enough to know that's not how this goes. It can change. Things change. Things can be, completely, that's all in the past. And if that happens, awesome. But it's a much bigger deal than I think we all. I think there's more there, and I don't know how it's all going to shake out, but I do know that it is not over. Even though Romeo scored 2 touchdowns, it does not mean that all things are good and great in that locker room.
Right, and we're going to move on from this. For those of you commenting that you don't care, that's fine. I get it. I would just say
How
this.
do we not care, though?
Right.
How do fans not care?
Right, because a couple things. One, the margin between victory and defeat is thin in the NFL. And if there is a
not
distrust,
because they're bad.
Well, no, because they're terrible. Exactly. But against good teams, and when your season's on the line, say in the playoffs, and if there's any sort of undercurrent of issues or drama or distrust or reservations, that does matter. Secondly, I do think that your insight is way different than anything that Domofsky or Silverstein or Wilde or whoever else can provide, because you've been on an NFL team and been in a locker room for 11 years, and you know how players process this type of stuff.
Trust is vital. And if you think everybody in that locker room trusts what's going on with this scenario, you're crazy.
I agree, and that's why I wanted you to have your platform for this, and I understand people want to move on. But the reason why you want to move on is you want your team to win. And if you want your team to win, then having it unresolved, and again, I want to be very clear, I don't think this is resolved with the players in the locker room. I don't want to swear on the radio, but no one gives a blank about whether it's resolved with the beat writers.
Nobody does. I can assure you of that.
Again and again and again. It isn't about
cares.
me. He doesn't owe me anything. But he does owe his teammates more than anyone else.
And in fairness, you could say, well, he went out and delivered the goods on Sunday, and that's an accurate assessment. No doubt. Is he going to continue to do that? I certainly hope so. Is that what everybody is wanting, and is that why we're just going to say, okay, everything's good? Yeah, maybe. I just don't feel that way, and that's why I'm voicing it. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be.
Last thing, for those that are saying there's obviously, I'm not a clinician. For those that are saying there's obviously mental health issues there. Okay, I don't feel comfortable saying obviously yes or obviously no.
I'm not a doctor.
But
correct.
Again, I think Tausch's first point on this is the one that those of you that keep saying that need to consider. If they had a genuine issue that they felt was a mental health issue and not a insubordination or unhappy with his role issue,
they would have paid him and given him a break.
They would not have suspended him.
Exactly. That's it.
That's the bottom line. They would have said, we need to get him help. He is struggling with something, and we're going to put him on the commissioner's exempt list, and he'll get his paycheck this week, but we're not going to suspend him. And I appreciate that people are concerned about him. Now, do I think you're really concerned about him, or if he was just Romeo Doubs, grocer, would you care? No, you wouldn't, and neither would I. We should. Right? We should care about the guy that works at the grocery store that's dealing with mental health issues too. But let's not be hypocrites here. We care because it's the team we cover or the team we root for. But again, in today's climate where we talk about mental health all the time, there is no way in God's green earth that the Green Bay Packers would have suspended him for having mental health issues. They wouldn't have. They would have treated it as an injury, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
They would not have suspended him. And I'm glad you said that, because I don't think people have been overly interested in that.
I agree. I mean, I don't want to have these discussions. I didn't want to do it last week, but I just know how important that stuff is in the locker room. And getting your locker room, what do coaches and everybody always tell you, what's the most important room in that building?
The locker room.
And if that ain't right, you ain't going to win on the field. You're not, unless you play the Cardinals. So, again, maybe I'm just making this into a bigger deal. I don't think I am, but I might. and everything's just smooth sailing ahead, and everybody's happy with their roles. And blah, blah, blah. But the reason I was so intrigued about the receiver spot all offseason is because these are the pitfalls and these are the things you have to watch and keep an eye on. And if you don't think Goody and LaFleur and everybody over there is managing that in a big way because you have all this young talent that's growing together, they'd be doing a disservice if they weren't.
All right. For those of you that are hoping that we will move on, we will. Are we doing this digi-only thing? Do I have to pick out one of the many, many, many things that are in this radio studio? We've got a new segment. We've got a new digi-only. Let's do it let's do it a little bit later in the show.
All right.
Okay? Because I really want to be able to look at Pablo standing close to the camera some more. We will shift gears once again. I really want to get to the ball meetings. I am fascinated by this, and I want to ask if Tausch had any ball meetings when he was playing, because apparently this is not something that they had done before. And if you're going to talk about how important it is to win the ball, maybe you want to meet about it and talk about it more. We'll talk about that coming up. Want to remind you, I hope you never have to make the call. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices. But if you do, if you have been injured or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you need the best, and Gruber Law Offices is the best. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. We'll shift gears once again next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
So what's better than a Packers win? Celebrating a Packers win behind the wheel of a newly redesigned 2024 Chevy Traverse C71. Yeah, that's better. And right now at Quick Trip, for every $1 you spend with Quick Rewards, you'll earn a Fan Zone point to spend in the Packers Zone. Then, with your Quick Rewards app, spend points for your chance to win prizes throughout the season, like a Chevy Traverse C71. Kick off your winning season with Quick Trip and your Green Bay Packers. See QuickTrip.com/fanzone for details.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Julia Ackley from McFarland High School.
Yep.
You're a Spartan.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, your dad's the athletic director here.
Yeah.
Your mom's an elementary school teacher. What's it like to have a mom who's a teacher and a dad who's an athletic director?
Yeah, lots of people know you, that's for sure. Lots of eyes, but it's been a little hard knowing that lots of people are watching you and seeing everything that you're doing. But I've had to tell myself that's your performance is based on you and not based on what other people's perspective on you is.
You ever done anything to help them? Do you help them out at events?
Yes, all the time. We are the Ackley family crew, and that's what everyone calls us when they see us at events and setting up for soccer games or basketball games. So.
Pizza Hut is changing the combo game with the new My Hut box. Mark Tauscher here, and starting at just $6.99. Pizza Hut is now offering the ultimate solo meal. You can have your choice of a personal pan pizza or melts with a side of boneless wings or fries. You get to pick whatever entree inside you want. And you can add a 20-ounce Pepsi for just $1.50 more. The My Hut box is perfect for a speedy lunch, a relaxing dinner on your own, or any time you're on the go. Order your own My Hut box today, only from Pizza Hut.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
My name is Rob, and I was seriously injured. When I think of Gruber Law Offices, I think of an honest, hard-working team who will fight to represent you. Couldn't be happier with the call that I made that day.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
ESPN Madison is your new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
That's a statement win for Wisconsin.
Every single night, 7,000 plus, and they are in your face.
From early season showdowns to a run for the national title. Catch every match this season on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Wisconsin's where it's at.
Let's go see how high we can go.
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Coors Light, Ridgetop Exteriors, Goodman's Jewelers, Carbon World Health, and North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you.
One last thing. I feel like we've spent today. I understand you can't please everybody all the time, Tausch. I get that. I try to be considerate of what our fans want. And I do feel like we've had some conversations between the Jets that a portion of our fans aren't interested in, and then about Romeo, which a portion of our fans want to just have it go away. I get that. I do think that both those conversations included not just hacky sports talk cliche radio. I think there was insight in both. We got a full Wednesday, Thursday, Friday heading into Packers-Texans, which is a big-time matchup. You will not hear me say...
Why is that game not flexed?
I don't know. I can't believe it's a noon game either.
Because they got to put Davante and the Jets on Sunday Night Football, Tausch.
Are the Jets on Sunday night
They
again?
are. Jets-Steelers, Sunday Night Football.
Oh, my God. Why would NBC not go try to cob that game?
It's too early for the flexing window. They're not allowed to.
Wow,
they can't take it.
Honest to God, this game, before the season started, and unfortunately I can't get up there this weekend, but I usually try to go to 2 or 3 Packer games a year.
Kind of like that
And
Vikings game you didn't come to.
This was the game, well, that just family first. When you
Sure.
take a 2-week
California
vacation
for 2 weeks.
You don't see your kids for 2 weeks and you miss hockey and everything else. You have to give up some to get some, right? But in this regard, this game was the one on the schedule that I thought, that's where I want to be. Because the Texans, the quarterback, even though he's in his second year, Jordan's in his 4th or 5th, whatever it is.
5th.
Yeah. They are on the same parallel tracks. That's last year when you finished the year, it's like, which young quarterbacks are you excited about? It's Stroud and it's Love. And the Texans are a good football team. They're coached well. You heard D'Amico Ryans say this is the best quarterback that they faced all season. Now, you'd say, it's only 7 weeks in. They played Josh Allen from the Bills.
Yeah. Josh Allen. Yeah, I'm going to push back on that. If they'd have played the Packers earlier in the year, look, there's no question D'Amico Ryans
would have been the best young quarterback that would have played.
No question that D'Amico Ryans thinks Jordan Love is a good quarterback, because he is.
But it's just...
But if they would have played
Jordan
Jordan Love 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and now they were playing Josh Allen, he would say, Josh Allen's the best quarterback we're going to face this year.
Maybe. You don't know. We don't know. We don't know. The bottom line is, obviously, he has a ton of respect.
Yes,
for
agreed.
Jordan.
Yep, agreed.
And this is, and I'm not going to say it's a Super Bowl matchup because I don't think the Texans will get there. But from a regular season standpoint, you want a measuring stick. You don't think that the team we played last week is any good. You didn't think the Titans are any good. Cardinals stink. Blah, blah, blah. This is one of those games that you're not going to have that little thing. Oh, the Texans stink. This is big boy football.
Yeah.
This is where you're going to see
really good defense.
A lot about where you're at 6-7 games into your season. This is kind of that first big benchmark battle that we're going to have. And the fact that the TV networks are throwing this bad boy on at noon, if I was a player, I'd be as excited as a can of cream corn. But I'm not.
I'm sorry?
And from a media standpoint, cream corn. It's good corn.
Notably excitable?
You have to be.
No, not excitable.
I just think this whole thing, this game is going to be the marquee matchup of the weekend, in my opinion.
Can I make a bold prediction while we're on? Because you're never going to ask me for this take unless I give it to you right now. No, it's not about cream
because
corn.
You probably won't work. Which day are you off? When is the? Let me rephrase that. When is the volleyball games this weekend?
I believe the Packers-Bears game scheduled for noon at Soldier Field on Sunday, November 17th will be flexed to Sunday Night Football, replacing Colts-Jets.
Why would Fox give that up, though? They get to protect.
Okay, we need to play trivia. If we could hold off on projecting what games are going to be flexed. Why did you feel the need to get that in there?
Because I saw it the other day, and I thought, wow, I bet they're going to flex Jordan Love.
He
Caleb
doesn't
Williams
want to be
Sunday
accused
night.
of plagiarizing anything.
Yeah, so I want to get.
If I say
that,
no, he doesn't
want to have that take first. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
You don't want to get plagiarized.
2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, Tausch is going to steal the take, just like they should trade for Daniel Carlson, and then I'm going to say, wow, great take, Tausch. They should flex Packers-Bears to Sunday Night Football that night.
Let's play trivia.
How sexy is that? How sexy is Week 17 going to be? Did you know that the NFC North, we have 4 teams. The Packers have the worst point differential, and they're plus 41. Nobody else is even close. This division's plus 260-something on point differential.
The top 4 teams in point differential are the 4 teams in the NFC North.
How sexy is Week 17 going to be?
I don't know, but right now, can we just get through Week 7? And trivia.
They're also going to flex both the NFC North games at the end of the year.
What are you doing?
Getting in front of it.
I don't think they could flex both, though, can they? They should do a double Sunday night. A double Sunday nighter would be fun.
Are you guys done? It's 11:02, and we still haven't finished.
I didn't get
the
us
10
into this
o'clock
mess.
hour, and we have trivia to do. You totally
started
did.
the flex talk,
flex
and then
the November 17th
Pablo
game.
flexed coming over across the thing, so you guys did.
Caller 8s for Aaron Rodgers. Caller 8s, 844-770-3776.
You just can't quit him, can you? Hey, you can't quit him, can you? Old age.
No, there's been quitting. There's definitely been quitting.
But you're rekindled.
844-7... 844-7... You're such a dick.
He just snarled at us.
He's a snarler.
Caller 8 for trivia. It's Badgers Trivia Tuesday with these two jackwagons. 844-770-3776. We'll play next, and we'll start the 11 o'clock hour sometime around 12:15. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Wisconsin Badgers Volleyball on ESPN Madison. Listen to every match all season long on 100.5 ESPN and streaming everywhere on Wisconsin On Demand. Coaching legend Bo Ryan joining basketball's all-time greats over the weekend. A laundry list of thank yous from the 4-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, capped off with a special one for his players. Audio courtesy NBA TV.
For every rebound you grabbed, for every free throw you practiced, for every charge you took, for every time you went to the floor for a loose ball, I thank each and every one of you. It was my supreme honor to coach you. I will cherish the memories we share for the rest of my life.
Pella's windows and doors feature durable materials, custom colors, and innovative features like shades between the glass. Get 0% interest for up to 36 months at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Grassland Dairy. Anybody else enjoying this stretch where 6 out of 7 games for our favorite pro football team are noon kickoffs? Well, if you're like me, that means plenty of chances for a Sunday morning breakfast tailgate, complete with the pure and delicious taste of Grassland butter. Grassland Dairy has been serving up delicious taste and high-quality butter from farm to table since 1904. That's over 5 generations. And the key to success for Grassland Dairy over all these years has been the high-quality ingredients Wisconsin's dairy farmers help produce to give Grassland its pure and delicious flavor. Thank you, farmers, and thank you, Wisconsin, from Grassland Dairy. Butter better with better butter. There's truly no better product and no better taste than the pure and delicious taste of Grassland butter. Grassland Dairy, crafting butter for 5 generations.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Hey, this is John Audius, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball play-by-play broadcaster. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand, Madison's new home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing.
Before we get to trivia, a little more breaking news from the National Football League. No sounder needed.
Sheesh. Can we not slow down?
The Pittsburgh Steelers making a quarterback change. Russell Wilson taking first-team reps this week. He will take over as the Steelers' starting quarterback. Tausch, I know you're excited. You guys are close. Time now for trivia. Let's welcome
the Steelers just win by like 25 points last weekend?
I don't know. This is not a Steelers-centric show either. It is time for trivia, though, on this show. And it is.
You imagine if T.J. Watt was a Packer, though?
Kevin King still available. Let's talk to Sean in Waukesha. Sean, good morning. You ready to play some trivia, buddy?
Yeah, except that the Steelers have lost their mind.
Yeah.
Why would they change quarterbacks?
Because it's Russell Wilson.
Hey, you guys have been a hoot this morning. I have enjoyed every minute of the show, and I really love it when Jesse stabs his knife in there and turns it around a little bit. Get you guys going.
He does. He's good at that.
Okay.
And by the way, thanks for that, because there are times when I get a little annoyed, so I appreciate it when we get some positive feedback as well. All right, the category is Badgers Trivia Tuesday. This is the first time we're playing trivia this week because we didn't play it yesterday.
Yeah.
We got double Wisconsin geography trivia coming up
so far.
tomorrow. Question 1, Sean, is this. Number 1 ranked Wisconsin women's hockey visits the number 3 ranked team in the country this weekend to play 2 games. Which Wisconsin rival is that 3rd ranked team in the country? Is it Minnesota, Nebraska, or Florida Skates?
Yeah. I know they just played.
Uh-oh, we're a little glitchy. Sean, are you there?
Nebraska? Yes, I'm here. Minnesota and Nebraska?
Minnesota and Nebraska are your choices, yes. And Florida Skates.
We'll go with Nebraska.
You might have been better dropping the call.
Let's go Oppo here.
Thanks.
Sean, let's get all of them wrong this week. Let's see if we can't get all of them wrong.
No, we're not doing
all right.
that. You don't get to do that.
Wisconsin has reached a bowl game in 22 straight seasons, which is the longest active streak for any Big Ten team. Which conference opponent has the second longest active streak of reaching a bowl game? Is it Ohio State, Iowa, or Northwestern?
Ohio State.
And the audio cleared up, too. Nicely done.
You got it right.
That's because I stopped.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Appreciate the courtesy.
More thoughtful than the people that are actually on this show. All right, question 3 is this, Sean. Braden Locke's 359 passing yards Saturday at Rutgers were the most for a Badgers quarterback in a Big Ten game since which of these quarterbacks threw for 392 yards against Illinois? Was it John Stocco, Tyler Donovan, or Darrell Bevel?
Bevel. I'll go with Bevel.
Tyler Donovan threw for 392 yards in a game?
Against the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Who's Tyler Donovan? Exactly. Is he the quarterback that they used? Is he the quarterback that they used in draft day as Bo Callahan when they showed game video?
I believe he was that one. Yes, Tyler Donovan of
What
Arrowhead.
an odd question, because isn't Darrell Bevel has the all-time leading in-game record, correct, against Minnesota? Didn't he throw for
400 and something? Yeah, but unfortunately the question is it was the most
What a weird question that was. Hey, who threw for just random? Oh, who threw for 286 yards against Purdue?
It's not random at all. He threw for the most yards in a game since the most recent one that threw for the most, which was 392 by Tyler Donovan
but
in 2007.
Darrell Bevel is the all-time leader, so who gives a rip that this guy Donovan threw for 392?
You can't say he threw for a lot, but not quite as much as which guy. Then it would have been Darrell Bevel.
Well, he threw for less than Tyler Donovan, too, though.
He threw for the most since.
This is what I love about you guys. I'm telling you.
I'm glad.
I don't fully understand.
I'm glad you can love that about us, even though you only got one question right, so you got 2 entries into the drawing. We appreciate your loyalty to the show, your considerate nature, and just the fact that you're an all-around great guy.
Let's give him another entry.
Yeah, give him another entry.
Give him another one.
Pablo's going to do it.
Love you guys.
All right, thanks, Sean.
I love you guys.
Sean's got to get moving again because he had to stop
Pablo
to
can't
talk to
tell
us.
you that you can't do that with the official contest rules, which can be found at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
All right, we need to kick off the 11 o'clock hour before it's 12 o'clock. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday, and I want to get to the ball meetings. We'll get to that as well during the 11 o'clock hour. We'll do that coming up in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Pizza Hut is changing the combo game with the new My Hut Box. Mark Tauscher here, and starting at just $6.99. Pizza Hut is now offering the ultimate solo meal. You can have your choice of a personal pan pizza or melts with a side of boneless wings or fries. You get to pick whatever entree inside you want. And you can add a 20-ounce Pepsi for just $1.50 more. The My Hut Box is perfect for a speedy lunch, a relaxing dinner on your own, or any time you're on the go. Order your own My Hut Box today, only from Pizza Hut.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
9 minutes of fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by the ESPN Wisconsin High School Football Media Poll. Watch the Rankings Reveal show every Tuesday at 12:30. Live video streaming on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, and follow ESPN Madison's social media platforms to view, react, and share the poll each week. It's a very well-hosted show at 12:30 on Tuesdays on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The Green Bay Packers getting set to host the Houston Texans this weekend at Lambeau Field. Noon kickoff for the Packers and Texans. Packers have opened as 3-point favorites, according to ESPN Bet. But the big news of this morning about former Packers. Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, teammates once again. The Las Vegas Raiders trading the former Packers All-Pro wide receiver to the Jets in exchange for a conditional third-round draft pick. Rodgers and the Jets coming off a Monday Night Football loss to the Bills last night, now 2-4 on the season. Hoping to retool the receiving core with another former Packer joining Alan Lazard and others in New York to try and turn that thing around this season. Plenty to react to. We did it in the 9 o'clock hour, including being joined by Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike. Catch the full podcast, Wisconsin On Demand.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour, which apparently we've changed time zones. I didn't know that because I was listening to Jesse's Sports Center. He said good afternoon. So apparently we're in the Eastern time zone.
Yeah, Jana in Pittsburgh, well into the afternoon out there.
Indeed. 16 minutes into it.
Davante, afternoon.
For sure. Now he is. Yeah. All right, so Tausch, help me out with this. Because since the dawn of time, not to mention since you were playing and Mike Ayers was on the cutting edge of, all this analytics stuff, you guys poached him from the Vikings. And
we did.
That was a coup. That was a big free agent get. Like he was doing
coup de skull. Some people called it a coup de skull.
Nice. I like that. But he was like one of the early adopters. Right? Mike Sherman hired him away.
Well, yeah. But...
I mean, it has become obviously something far greater. But that was the early days of analytics in the NFL. And I remember him talking about the stats of when you win the turnover battle, you win the game 83% of the time or something like that. I can't remember what the number is, and I don't know how it's changed now. But back then, it was all about the ball, and now it's all about the ball. The Packers go into their showdown with the Houston Texans on Sunday, leading the NFL in takeaways with 17 and leading the league in turnover differential at +9. And everyone wants to know why. Well, why? They have 17 takeaways in 6 games.
That's good.
In 17 games a year ago, they had 18 takeaways.
It's not good.
No, it's not. But 17 in 6 games is a hell of a lot. Is it X? Is it Jeff Hafley's system? Is it?
Yes.
Is it a greater emphasis on taking the ball away? Is it having vision to the football where they didn't necessarily have it in coverage before?
Nope.
Is it that they've just gotten lucky?
Nope.
Is it having meetings about the importance of turnovers?
What do they always say about coaching, Jason?
You get what you emphasize. You also get what you tolerate.
It's a great line because it's true, and I think there's always the tricky part of coaching is you want to continue to have your strengths, and then you always want to work on your weaknesses, and you want to try to meld all of it together. And that's the beauty of coaching, and that's the hard part is to figure out what you're going to do from a time standpoint, how you're going to emphasize it, who's emphasizing it, and then how you go out and execute it. But I think for obviously what Xavier McKinney is doing is special. He's a special player. Thank you, Jimmy Schoen, for letting us have him from the Giants. But
Joey Shane.
The epitome of what we're seeing and this whole idea of the avalanche and, well, you get one and it starts, the snowball collects. And then you start gaining steam, and then everybody wants in on it. I thought Evan Williams showcased it the other day. You get what you emphasize. That is an emphasis. That is a Jeff Hafley talking about getting your boxing gloves out and going to work. Because that doesn't happen. That didn't happen in the Joe Barry era. I don't remember it. Maybe somebody did and I missed it. But you start getting these turnovers and you start preaching it and you're pounding on it constantly. Peanut Tillman was the goat of it. Everybody's trying to reclaim it. And sometimes you miss and you don't get it, but you keep swinging. That's what this defense is doing. And the fact that we've already gotten to almost the exact number we had in 17 weeks through 6, it doesn't happen because, you're playing a bad team. Yes, I know. Well, they fumbled a snap. But you know what else you missed on that when you said that was a gimme for Kenny Clark? The defense stemmed late, and everything was jumbled, and it threw off the little mesh point that Kyler Murray had. So was that a misexecution by them? Yes. But it wasn't just because they were static and they let it happen. The Packers defense also did something to force that. And you're seeing that over and over again, and that's what I love about what Jeff Hafley's brought to the table.
So if they're having these meetings and they're showing different clips of takeaways by other teams, they're showing scouting reports on the various players that they're facing, that gives them an idea of who might be susceptible
Not
to turning
holding
the ball
it high
over.
and tight. Somebody
Right.
holding it like a loaf of bread.
And it goes both ways because, again, the reason why we knew about this is, I love doing that, is because Malik Willis was the first one to mention it. Because it's both about the defense taking the ball away and the Packers not giving it away. And so he had back-to-back turnover-free starts, both of which they won, by the way, when Jordan Love was injured. And he mentioned these meetings, and he credited Matt LaFleur. And Matt LaFleur credits Jeff Hafley. So Matt LaFleur said yesterday that this is not something unique per se. He's been on other staffs that did this, but the Packers never did. Not under Mike Patton, not under Joe Barry. This was something that, and I quote, Haf wanted to do. And so it's been, if there's causation there, there's reason to be really, really excited because there has been results.
Yeah, how do you not think there's causation?
I do think there is, but I mean, I can't say that for certain. I'm saying if there is, and I believe there is, then this was a good thing. And my question then becomes, why the hell wouldn't you do these?
You should. And
everyone should.
Copycat league. Why don't you put in a request to embed for a week within the Packers and go and get in these meetings? Embed yourself.
Because they will say no.
But what does it harm to ask? Matt LaFleur sat with you and went over video one time, did he not?
We did, yeah, in his office, yeah.
So why won't you do it again?
I'd love to. I will put in the. I
Ask
thought you
him.
wanted to. How about I save it and I remind Jason Wallers that we would like to have the coach and the GM on it.
I'd rather you go and bet in.
Really?
We're good. And bet in. Yeah.
Okay. If it's an either or, I will take the embeddingment.
Yeah, you get an hour to go through. Would you rather it be on a Monday of game prep or a Friday of what we've already done?
If I'm embedding, you're saying I can't have Wednesday or Thursday?
I would think that gets to be a little bit.
I would want Friday.
I mean, is that what Friday?
Uh-huh. Game plans in, talk a little bit more about what they like, what they don't like. Again, sure. I got to do something very rare, and each of us have different stories among us writers that got to do these types of cool things. But being for my 2004 story about your offensive line, sitting in that room and getting to experience.
22 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. They don't allow that sort of stuff now.
Jump back on the horse.
I will try. I will put in a request tomorrow when I'm at Lambeau.
In bed.
And then when they say no, I'll have to come back and tell you that, as I predicted, they said no. Okay.
Sure.
I would like to be embedded. I would also like to do Power Rankings Tuesday, which we will do coming up next. We also have a Digi-only coming up. So if you're on the ESPN Madison YouTube or on Twitter or Facebook,
Matt West Bend is making a push now. He's fun. He's fun.
He's got some juice. So we've got some use for what he's got. We just should nickname him Moose. So I want to get to the power rankings because I'm curious what the Packers win over a bad team did for their ranking.
Is it weird that I'd prefer to power rank the flex games rather than this NFL teams? I would rather do that. Because is the Detroit Viking game more interesting than the Texans Packers?
December 22nd, Buccaneers at Cowboys. That one's not looking so good right now.
No, Cowboys stink. It's over. They're done.
Could get Eagles,
which is the
Eagles
game
Commanders that night, or Lions Bears. That'd be pretty good.
Oh, Lions Bears will get flexed in there.
Yeah, you don't have an NFC North bias at all.
It's the best division in football, bro.
You really want the NFC North to just be like Big Ten Saturday night on NBC and just get every Sunday night game as an NFC North game.
Well, I'll tell you what, they could do a heck of a lot worse at this point. I really need the Bears to miss the playoffs, though. I need them to – what are they doing winning games?
Because then you have to wash Ben Bruss's car in a Speedo with Jesse, or what happens if the Bears make the playoffs?
No, there's none of that. But, come on.
All right, we need to get to power rankings, whatever we're going to power rank. I have not felt in control of this show since about 4 minutes in. When the news of Davante Adams being traded to the Jets.
You deserve a medal today, I think, from the
retired Navy fellow would agree. Maybe I just deserve a Coors Light because I need to chill.
Yeah, you do need to chill. Coors Light brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light is refreshing. It is crisp. It's only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Power ranking the flexible games remaining on the schedule, or maybe the current NFL power rankings from ESPN. We'll see what Tausch decides next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson to tell you about Madison Weight Loss, the 60-day program that I just experienced from August into October. I was able to drop 40 pounds simply by changing what I eat every single day. I'm wearing another old ESPN Madison polo that I had from years back. I think 2019 was the last time I actually wore this polo until today. And it's all thanks to Madison Weight Loss. I kept it in the back of the corner. I kept saying, someday I'm going to fit back into that one, along with a bunch of other shirts that I had. And my wife Becca said, I don't know if that's ever going to be the case. We should throw those out. Guess what? Today's that someday, and it can be yours as well. If you keep saying someday I'm going to lose that weight, Madison Weight Loss can be the program that helps you find that success. I tried a couple of other different ways, never worked. Madison Weight Loss is how I was able to lose 40 pounds. Check them out. MadisonWeightLoss.com is where you can get a free consultation scheduled either in person or virtually. MadisonWeightLoss.com. Madison Weight Loss. Results may vary.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle it as best you can to be the best.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
There is a noticeable difference on the Packers offense when third-year wide receiver Christian Watson is on the field versus when he's off the field. Watson returned to action Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals following missing the previous game due to an ankle injury, and he returned in stellar fashion, scoring a touchdown. Head coach Matt LaFleur on what Christian Watson brings to the offense.
Definitely gives us an advantage. You better account for wherever he is because he's got legit home run speed.
LaFleur, Watson, and the Packers prepare for debatably their biggest test so far this season as they play host to the Houston Texans on Sunday at noon. I'm Alex Grove.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Is your computer so slow you can hardly use it? Does it have blue screens, malware, viruses, reboots, hardware crashes? Sound familiar? Computers will have problems, and when they do, you need the computer experts at Madison Computer Works. Every day we help home users and businesses keep their computers and networks running smoothly. For solutions to your computer problems, call the pros at 231-8000, and we'll turn this into this. Madison Computer Works. Computers that work for you.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
This ain't a good time, but when is it ever? I know the perfect time, and maybe that's never. So don't you dare leave me now. Throw my heart on the ground. 'Cause tonight.
All right, this is not me. Let me, before I say anything further, I'm not pouting. Okay, this is not me pouting. This is maybe me throwing my arms up in the air and saying whatever the hell you guys want to do is fine. But I don't understand what, if we're not, Jesse, just tell us where the Packers are ranked in the power rankings this week, and we'll move on from that. But are we ranking the games that are remaining on the Packers' schedule that we view as flexible? Or what are you guys wanting to do, I guess is my question.
I didn't think we were actually doing anything with the flex scheduling. I thought that was just a quippy little text that Matt and Wes Ben sent us.
Well, what I would like to do with this big game coming up is power rank the remaining top 5 games left on the Packers' schedule.
That's what I did read this correctly then, so I take it back. Thank you. All right.
Blame Matt and Wes Bend. If you want to blame people.
I'm not blaming anybody. It's great. I'm
All
on
right.
board. Yeah.
I'm going to blame Pablo for putting that, because I know Jesse didn't put it up on the screen. So Pablo putting that up on the YouTube deal, let me see that, and then I got, that gets my old
brain cooking.
rolling.
Yeah.
Packers are
cooking.
number 8 in this week's ESPN NFL Nation Power Rankings.
All right,
up one spot.
Here are your
Is
remaining...
Minnesota ahead of Kansas City on there or not, Jesse?
No. Come on.
Minnesota is number 2. Kansas City is number 1. Would you like me to give you the top 10, and then we can just go about the segment the way we normally do?
Top 8. I want just the top 8.
Kansas City, Minnesota, Detroit, Houston, Baltimore,
Whoa.
Buffalo, Tampa. They're
the
a fun
Jets.
team. Green Bay.
They're fun.
Number 9, just behind the Packers, the Washington Commanders.
You want to know something crazy?
Yes.
There's the one team out of that top 8 that I don't want to see. Baltimore.
Oh,
That'd be the team
they're
I don't
a
wanna
fling 'em in your little game that we don't have a real name for yet.
As a Packer fan, I'm not interested in playing Lamar Jackson, the big fella. That running game.
The big fella meaning
Derrick Henry?
Derrick
Is that
Henry.
what you were going for there?
Well, who else is the big fella?
Well, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't
Isaiah
know?
Likely?
That running game,
Mark
and
Andrews.
with Lamar Jackson, and now with that, I don't want any part of the Baltimore Ravens. Everybody else on that schedule, be tough games. Gonna have to play well. I bring all of them. Bring Kansas City. Let's go. I think that we saw that story in December last year. It was a love story from a Packer fan standpoint. Pretty good.
Also a
Thank
song
you.
by Taylor Swift. Well done. All right.
Thanks.
Here are your remaining Packers games on the schedule. The Green Bay Packers are 4-2. They have 11 games left in their season.
Okay, so I'll just go flex, or what could I say to say get out of here that rhymes with flex?
Flex or next?
Okay, flexed or next. If I say next, it's not in the top 5. Then I got to rank after we get that. All right, let's go.
Flush it, flesh it, or flex it?
It's not how the game works.
He's just workshopping. Flex it or next it. Okay?
Okay.
The Houston Texans on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Keep it in the corner, flex it.
At Jacksonville, October 27th.
Next.
Versus Detroit at Lambeau Field, November 3rd.
Ooh, put that on.
It's a 325 game of the week already. What are you going to flex it to?
I'm ranking which games I'm intrigued the most by, Jesse.
Yes,
I'm not
that's
interested in Kelly calls, CBS, and Fox, and everything else. Come on,
So
Jesse.
it's flex
Get with the
next or
program.
I'm intrigued is what the game is.
All right, continue. Jesse.
Flex
Continue.
next or what time is Murder, She Wrote on. All right. Then they have the bye.
Oh, Angie. Old Angie. Huh? R.I.P.
November
What a world.
17th at the Chicago Bears.
Next.
Oh, you're just saying that because I said it.
No. Okay, put it on the flex list. Jesse's
Possible
right.
flex. You're going to leave it available.
Well, I only get 5 spots. This isn't going to be easy.
So at some point you're going to, and you've got 2 matchups with the Bears, remember? They haven't played them yet.
I understand. I understand.
All right.
No,
November
keep going.
24th versus the San Francisco 49ers at Lambeau Field.
Wow. This schedule is sexy. Wow. Yeah, flex
Are
it.
you sexy?
Absolutely.
All right. Now a game that actually is a primetime game on Thanksgiving against the Miami Dolphins at home.
Next.
So you're going to take that off of Thanksgiving night then, or this is just I'm not intrigued?
It's not on my list.
It would be very helpful with the Badger game at 11 a.m. the next day for that to not be on Thanksgiving night. I'll give them that.
Okay.
All right. December 5th, also in prime time already, at Detroit on Prime Video Thursday Night Football.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Yeah, it's a flex. I don't know if I'm going to be able to rank this down. Like, I don't know.
I think you are, because the next one that I'm going to give you, I think you're going to flex it out. At Seattle on Sunday, December 15th. currently Sunday Night Football?
Flex. I got to keep that in. I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Flex to keep it in?
In my top 5.
Flexed next, or I'm intrigued. And Angela Lansbury, R.I.P. Next. Monday Night Football against the New Orleans Saints at Lambeau Field.
Lame.
Yeah, I'm actually going to that game, and I'm excited to be up there. I always love going to Lambeau. But next, New Orleans stinks.
Next. At Minnesota, December 29th at U.S. Bank Stadium.
Yeah, that's a flex. I don't know where. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
The Sunday night game that night is Miami at Cleveland.
That is getting flexed out, I guarantee.
Yeah, I'll guarantee that too.
And finally, TBD. And I believe it could be either Saturday or Sunday, if I recall correctly.
Gosh, I'm definitely wanting that to be Saturday.
January 5th or 6th, 4th or 5th, whatever it is, 2025. Packers hosting the Chicago Bears in the regular season.
Fellas, I'm going to tell you guys something. This schedule is really difficult.
Yes, thank you.
And it's sexy. It's sexy and very difficult. I don't know if I can figure out. I'm having a hard time figuring out which games. So all of us are going to do this now. Let's rank our top 5 games that we would go to and watch if we could. Of the rest of this, how many games are left?
11. Wait a minute. Is this like I want to go to Seattle for a road trip, or I think
this is purely based on the quality of the game, Jesse. Come on.
My intrigue level's at its highest. So for me, I'll go bottom down. I will say the Chicago Bears is 5th at Chicago on the 17th. That's going to be in my 5 spot.
In my 5, okay.
San Francisco is in my 4 spot. That's on November 24th. My 3 spot, I'm going this weekend, the Houston Texans. My 2 spot is the December 5th at Detroit game. And the game that's the most intriguing, can we get redemption? Sunday, December 29th against the Minnesota Vikings. That is the most intriguing game left on the schedule as we sit here on the 15th.
Did I miss the
October.
49ers? Did you not say the 49ers?
Yeah, they're 4th.
Yeah,
okay.
they're 4th.
All right.
Yeah.
I got lost there. So can you go through that one more time for those of us that got confused?
Yeah, I just went through it. I said
you
Chicago.
can't do it again. Okay.
He said,
well, I didn't write it down. I said
at Chicago,
go ahead, Jesse.
Home San Francisco.
The Houston Texans on Sunday.
At Detroit, at Minnesota.
Okay, so
that's
they
correct.
So the Bears in the finale do you not think the Bears are going to be relevant by then?
The Bears are going to
faded.
I think the Bears are going to
okay. You had Seattle, which is a primetime game. You now bump them out of the 5.
Yeah, they're not. They're 6th.
And only one of the Detroit games makes the list now. Is that right?
Well, yeah, you can't do all of them. I mean, you can't. You only get 5. That's the beauty of power ranking.
Okay, but you could do
so
both.
I'm not going to ask you guys to give me your 5. Give me your top 2 games left on our schedule you're most intrigued by.
Bears at Chicago and at Detroit are the 2 that I'm most intrigued by, with the 49ers a close third.
Okay.
At Detroit and home San Francisco. I'm very intrigued to see if the Packers have leapfrogged San Francisco and can get that kind of monkey off their back.
All right.
Yeah, that at Detroit, it's just funny to me that Vikings are the clear leaders. Well, they're the leaders. The Detroit game this weekend will obviously be big. But at Detroit, I think, is the most sexy game now that I'm looking at it. I think that's a sexy game.
What else is sexy is winning on Prize Picks, which I don't know if you know anything about lately.
Mm-hmm. I had a tough one last weekend, lost by 0.5 yards, but I still had a ton of fun. Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, 10 million users, the easiest and most exciting way To play daily fantasy sports, all you do, pick more or less on a 2 to 6 player stat projection. Watch the winnings roll and get in on the daily action with your pals. Become part of the Prize Picks community. Today you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. The best way, Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long. Sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win. You get the $50 bonus is guaranteed. Download the app today. Use that code WI and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI on Prize Picks for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
All right, we're doing a Digi only. It's a new feature we're doing live from the Wilde Family Basement Studios. The Tuesday Treasures Edition. You'll find it on YouTube, on the ESPN Madison YouTube, and Twitter and Facebook. So move on over there if you haven't already, and we'll do that next. And then Whoa Nelly on the actual show. So stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
All right, guys, the Digi Only is underway. Jason, what do you have?
All right, so before I show, I wanted people to see what we're talking about here. Our buddy Danny Zetterman, who is outstanding, says every time he watches...
It's a good-looking lamp.
It's a Brewer's helmet lamp. It was in my room as a kid. There's Tausch up there. There's Tausch again. There's a lot of junk in here, Paula would say. And what we're going to do is each and every Tuesday, we're going to take an item, random though it may be, and we're going to do a little Digi only of that item. And I thought, in honor of the GOAT, that I would bring this out for the first one. I have collected a number of these because I love this guy, and that is the Steve the Homer True Bobble Leg.
Oh.
It is a leg that bobbles from the Milwaukee Wave soccer team. And that is some bobbleheads don't look like the person. That's Homer, right? I mean, that's a pretty good
pretty accurate,
likeness. Yeah. So you can find a few of these still on eBay. I haven't bought them all up, but Steve the Homer True is our treasure. And look, I understand that sometimes he says some crazy stuff. Lord knows he's driven me crazy from time to time. But he is an icon. He is the GOAT, and we do love him, even when he's telling Tausch what Tausch thinks. So I thought we would kick it off with him. I think I have accumulated like 4 or 5 of them. I got a couple in my office at Lambeau as well. Do you think they're worth anything? What if I get him to sign them?
What did you pay for them?
I got a couple at Goodwill, which is a good place to pick up Homer.
Have you ever actually gone to like a Milwaukee Wave game or wherever else they've actually given these away, or have you only bought them online?
I was not at the game that they gave these away. They only did it once, and I believe they had a lot of leftovers, and I think if I recall correctly, Homer was told he could buy them. But he had to buy like 1,000 of them. So, no, I did not go to that game. But Tausch, is there a Tausch bobblehead that I have not tracked down yet? Because I got a lot of bobbleheads back there.
Yeah, I actually don't have any idea. I don't, not that I've seen, I don't think, but maybe, no idea.
Would you be interested?
I don't know if bobbleheads were that popular.
What if we put together, like I've got, I know we don't have time for going through all of the different bobbleheads that I have, but I have a number of them that have 2 things on them. Like here's the St. Paul Saints guy and the Minnesota Twins guy. What if we did one of you and I? You think there'd be any interest in that if we had our own bobblehead?
I don't know.
We can make ourselves look as thin as possible. We get to decide.
Why are you so anti-bobblehead, Tausch?
It's just not my deal. I'm not a bobblehead guy.
Do you not like them?
I think they're kitschy. I don't mind that
I am
people...
kitschy. There's no doubt about
I
that.
don't have any problem with people that love him, but I just get such a kick out of people that'll go to a Brewers game just to get a bobblehead and then walk out.
Yeah,
That
no,
to
I've
me
never
is
done that.
crazy.
Never done that. I'm more of a thrift store guy.
I've gone with multiple tickets to get multiple bobbleheads for different people before at the Brewers
That
game.
doesn't even remotely surprise me. That you do.
Well, I can't wait till they have Usher George bobblehead day at AmFam Field, and he'll be in, what was that section again that he worked
the
all the
Toyota
time?
territory out in right center field.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so we're gonna. I have a lot of other stuff in here, but I did want to do that as an homage to Homer. So thanks for joining our Digi Only for today.
I'm coming back on top and I'm flipping the switch.
There is we've completed our first Tuesday trinkets. You like trinkets better than treasures, right? You're a trinket.
It's just a more fun word to say.
It is a fun word
No,
to
I'm
say.
fine with either. Hey, I'm an easygoing fella.
I've heard
Whatever
that about
want,
you.
Jason. This is
Yeah. Hey! Time now for another fun thing to say. Whoa, Nelly!
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
on Wilde and Tausch.
All right, in the spirit of... There we are. In the spirit of Power Rankings Tuesday, along with the Packers being ranked 8th in this week's rankings from ESPN's NFL Nation, Bold Bob, Rob Domofsky,
I know
and
him.
all of the other NFL Nation reporters also have shared the lesson learned so far about their respective team.
Should have kept Anders Carlson. Is that the lesson?
That could be yours if you would like. I'd like for you to share what you think your lesson learned is about the Green Bay Packers before I reveal to you what Rob Domofsky selected as the lesson learned.
Should have kept Anders Carlson. I'm going with that.
Not a bad one.
So just wait. The lesson learned is that the Packers should have done something different, or they were attaboy.
Do you learn lessons from your successes?
Sometimes.
You certainly should. What are we doing here if you're not, right?
Yeah, I'm saying the implication of a lesson learned generally is I screwed up, but hey, lesson learned. That's where the phrase comes from.
Oh. Lesson learned, we should have went with a different defensive coordinator 2 years ago. That would be the lesson learned.
That's also a good one.
That is a good one. What did Bold Bob have?
The Packers defense can take the ball away.
Oh my God.
Green Bay doesn't
You're
rank
gonna
in
have
the
to have another
top.
talk with our guy.
Can we suspend his Twitter account on account of just being totally lame?
Green Bay doesn't rank in the top 10 in the league in yards allowed per game, passing yards per game, rushing yards per carry, third down stop percentage, or red zone defense. However, the Packers lead the league with 17 takeaways, including one on special teams. It's the most through 6 games of an NFL season since the Bears were on the same pace in 2018. The only question is if and when the Packers get to the postseason and they're playing the top teams, can they still take the ball away?
That's Bob's big point. He made that on our little TV show, too, that it's great that they're taking the ball away, but when you get to the postseason, teams are good. They don't give the ball away as much.
What great point did you make on your little TV show?
I don't know.
Domofsky made that great point. What's your great point?
I'm just here to praise other people's work. I'm not here to brag about my own. It's not what I do here.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Guess you'll have to watch.
What poor point did you make on the TV show?
I made plenty of those. Too many to list. All right, we need to go because otherwise we're going to go over our show ending.
Very, very frustrating.
Not great time management today.
It's all my fault, too, no doubt about it. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Whether you're saving up to buy a jersey for your new favorite player, tickets to a game, or simply need some extra spending money for you and your family, it's always great to learn new ways to save some extra cash. Well, I've been telling you for a while about how you can save money and help save the planet by making the switch to Everlight Solar. When my family first thought about making the energy switch to solar, we weren't exactly sure where to even start. That's when we got in touch with the team at Everlight Solar, and through every step of the process, they were great. If you're interested in making the switch, let them do the same for you. Check out everlightsolar.com to find out more and schedule a free consultation. That's everlightsolar.com. Save money and help save the planet. When you're ready to make the switch, take my word for it. Count on the team at Everlight Solar.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you and check out the menu at greatdanepub.com. Coaching legend Bo Ryan joining basketball's all-time greats over the weekend. A laundry list of thank yous from the 4-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, capped off with a special one for his players. Audio courtesy NBA TV.
For every rebound you grabbed, for every free throw you practiced, for every charge you took, for every time you went to the floor for a loose ball, I thank each and every one of you. It was my supreme honor to coach you. I will cherish the memories we share for the rest of my life.
Pella's windows and doors feature durable materials, custom colors, and innovative features like shades between the glass. Get 0% interest for up to 36 months at PellaWI.com.
The Jones family has its rules, just like any other family. Only difference is, ours are about making the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage you can buy. One of our rules, we only use all natural ingredients. It's a mandate we've followed since the 1840s, and we'll continue to do so for generations to come. Right here in Fort Atkinson. I'm Philip Jones. To learn more about the rules that make sure my family provides your family with the best tasting, highest quality breakfast sausage, visit jonesdairyfarm.com.
Hello, I'm John Hayes, the owner of Goodman's Jewelers. It's been my pleasure to serve this community from this incredible store for over 4 decades. We stand upon high standards and classic traditions, pillars like honesty and integrity. Stop into Goodman's Jewelers, the longest-standing full-service jewelry store in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Sports fanatics, join the Madison Area Sports Commission live and in person for Good Morning Sports on October 21st. We'll welcome former Green Bay GM and General Counsel Andrew Brandt, who hosts the Business of Sports podcast. It's hosted at the Forward Club in Breeze Stevens Field. Registration donations will benefit the MASC Youth Grant to get kids into sports. Register online at visitmadison.com/goodmorningsports. This event is sponsored by American Family Insurance and Oak Bank, supported by ESPN Madison, and produced by the Madison Area Sports Commission.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Since I founded it in 1992, the Elton John AIDS Foundation has reached over 100 million people. Our work is not over. Learn about how you can help at eltonjohnaidesfoundation.org. And follow us at EJAF on Instagram.
Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's makes the good stuff for good times. Find recipes, videos, and more at titosvodka.com.
I say go, baby, go, go, go. Oh, I say go till you can't go. No more, no more. I say go, baby, go, go, go. I've been to a place where the drifters go. It brought me trouble, yeah, it brought me low. Time was flying, but I was rooted.
Tausch, we're out of show. We gotta go. Don't you know?
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
We got to get away to Piscataway. How'd you feel about today's show? Did you feel good about it?
I had a lot of fun. I don't know how everybody else, but I had fun.
I'll check the YouTube comments and see how they felt. That's it for us today. We will do it again tomorrow, and I'll manage the clock slightly better, but not much. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available